Big up, everyone. We are here at We Are Tottenham TV. After the Chelsea game, I'm here with Marlon, my man Marlon, from A View from the South Stand. And yeah, we've had an interesting game today. I mean, who would have thought we'd gone to Stamford Bridge, play that badly to an extent where even though Chelsea played badly, we actually come away with a point. I think every Spurs fan would have said, I'll bite your hand off for a point at Stamford Bridge.
And after that performance, you probably still the same and go, I'll take that.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to take that.
What's your overall thoughts then, Marlon, on today, like on the actual game? How have you found it? What do you think then still needs improvement on?
I'm more positive than I was before the game.
Okay.
The reason why I'm more positive is because you saw today what happens when we make changes and we go at them. Like, if that was last season, we'd have probably gone for the point, like we did at Liverpool kind of thing, where we kind of settled for the point because we knew that they were 10 times better than us.
Yeah.
But it's just good to see that we can bring on players. Son coming off is so important, right? Because he had such a poor game and we don't have to leave him out there. And we can have someone of the quality of Perisic who can come on that left and it's made such a difference.
Massive difference.
Massive difference. So it's just all good to see.
Do you think it's more the fact that it's because of the kind of, we've got a lot more depth than we had last season?
Definitely.
The fact that, like when Conte was saying before, when he looked at the bench and he was like, he didn't know who to bring on now.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to bring Perisic on as a left wing back. He could bring him on as a left winger because that's where he originally used to play.
Yep.
And depending on the system he's playing, he's got different options. He brought Lucas Moura. We've got Matt Doherty on the bench. I didn't even see if Spence was on the bench, but you've got other players like that who can come on as a right wing back, and he brings on Moura for the right wing back.
Well, you know, you look in the fact that Moura and Sanchez, you know, weren't the first two options to come on.
Yeah.
And that's where the improvement is. I know a lot of people have been talking about this transfer window being, you know, we need more, we need this, we need that. And personally, I still think we need a centre-back.
Yeah,
that's,
definitely. I agree
you know, you know, if you have a centre-back today and the goals we conceded, you don't concede them. And actually, we could play that poorly and probably come away as a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
But we came away with 2-2 draw. I'm happy with it. Hopefully, better performance against Wolves.
Yeah.
And it looks like a great point.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see as well how we do, because Conte is also going to be on the bench for that game, and Tuchel's going to be on the bench for their next game. Thanks to Skeletor being an absolute prick. But yeah, I mean, look, it was. I wouldn't even say a game of two halves, because overall Chelsea did play better than us.
Oh, they dominated the game.
They dominated the game. Let's be honest. Yeah, they dominated the game. I know the commentary after the game, they were saying that on Sky Sports they dominated it as well, and it was just good, the fact that they didn't give up, even though it was still really bad performance from them as a collective team, and also there was some individuals out there who were a lot worse than everyone else.
But wasn't it great to see, for that corner, how many players of ours were in that box?
In that box, yeah.
Oh, my God.
You know, that's something they've been working on with the new coach, because and even last season, I remember when there was a stat, when Nuno was there and when Conte was there, the amount of people that were getting in the box. They even, I think it might have been, actually it was Stel and Sim when they did a tactics show before, to show you the difference between the defenders of how many people were getting in the box for corners when Nuno was there and when Conte was there, and there was so much more players. But it's like common sense. Like, logically, if you put more players in the box, there's more of a chance it's going to come to one of your players, and there's more of a chance you can actually score a goal from it.
No, I totally agree.
And you just all you need is really one player back, because if they break, then at least the other wing backs or the wingers can try to attempt to come back. But at least you've got that one defender.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And usually for us, choose Emerson. And in that situation, I actually believe in Emerson. Unlike most people, I believe he won't make the mistake, because that's his bread and butter. But at the end of the day, it's just, there's a lot of positives to take out of a game where actually we probably on another day would have lost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it looked like we were going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Right until the last minute.
I was a bit more positive than you, and I couldn't believe I was the positive one.
Yeah, you were. That's true. And normally you're even more direct than I am at times, Marlon. But what do you think? I think we should maybe start getting some of these callers on. I can see one handsome fella in the background.
Yeah.
He looks eager to come on. So I'm sure I might as well get him on. Should we get him on? What's going on, Mr. Daigle? How we doing, mate?
Mate, somebody call the cops, because there has been a daylight robbery at Stamford Bridge. Mate, Jesus Christ. And all I can say is this shirt has magic goddamn powers.
We're unbeaten in it yet. Unbeaten, mate. Unbeaten. So you better put that back in the freezer as soon as you get home. And make sure Alana doesn't find it either.
Oh, mate, I've made sure. There's a secret compartment I found. Actually, I'm lying. It's right in the front, but she don't care. She knows not to touch it. She knows. But yeah, mate, to take a point away from that, Jesus Christ, what a result.
Yeah, exactly. What did you think of the performance, Brian? Because I know me and Marlon, we've kind of been saying how it was terrible, if we're honest, right? From a Tottenham point of view, it was really bad. We had like 3 or 4 shots the whole game, and we managed to score 2 goals and take a point at Stamford Bridge. So, what was your feeling going through the first half and into the second half? How did you feel?
Well, the first half was shambolic. Was absolutely ridiculous. I think they forgot that we wore white. Because we just couldn't pass the ball to each other. It was ridiculous. But they came out in the second half. They fought, but I'll tell you one thing. We're lucky to get the 2 goals, but I'll tell you what. We need a centre-back, and we need him now. I'd literally be on the phone
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Whether it be Milinkovic, whether it be Skriniar, whether it be whoever it may be, get on the phone and say, right, how much do you want for this player, and pay it. Because the 2 goals we conceded, it was like Moses had parted the Red Sea, and they had all the fucking spaces. I mean, Koulibaly with that techers of a volley had all the space in the world.
Yeah.
And then, they had the whole of Stamford Bridge. It was shambolic defending. It really was. I mean, it can't continue. It's a real problem.
It is a problem. And do you know what was so bad about it, right? Is the fact that Eric Dyer didn't once look around behind him to see who was behind him. And Emerson, he was standing in front of Koulibaly, and the worst thing about it was that he was watching the ball the whole time. He looks once, and he could see who's in front of him, and then he looks again to the ball, and he just continues to watch the ball. He doesn't even look around once to see what's going on. If players have moved around him, and he's seen Koulibaly in front of him, yet he hasn't done anything to try and get tight to him. I mean, it was terrible. And Son as well. He was poor today. Oh, well, let me get on to Son, actually, because I want to see what your thoughts are of Son. What did you think of how Son did today? Because, yeah.
Do you know what? It's like you were just saying before, like Marlon said, thank God we've now got a bit of depth, so these players, when they're playing badly, can come off and rest or literally just come off because they've been woeful. Son was completely off it today, and in all honesty, so was Harry Kane. But Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Literally, when it matters, he got that goal. I mean, when he shanked that shot in the second half as well, it's like, of all the players to do that, you'd have put your house on Harry Kane. But them two have not been all guns blazing and ready for this season. Like Harry Kane, we started pre-season, looked like a man possessed, and now that kind of Harry Kane ain't there. But you got to look at it. These 2 results we've got have been with those 2 not at their best.
Yeah.
The resilience from the team today, it speaks. Well, you know what we said today? If we get a good win, that will put a marker down and send shockwaves down the Premier League. Yeah. But I think our resilience and the fact that we just didn't give up, will send just a bigger ripple down the Premier League. So, do you know what we all would have done? If someone had told you that at half time, you would have snapped your hands off for it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Brian, what did you make of the timings of the subs today? Because obviously we're not used to, these players coming on. But what did you make? Because usually Conte gets a lot of blame for not bringing on players early enough. Do you think we could have changed it a little bit earlier, or do you think actually he got it spot on?
Well, it looks like he's got it spot on. I was surprised he didn't make any at half time. I really thought there would have been. I really thought there would have been some changes at half time, but there wasn't. Brought Richarlison on, then all the others came on, and it looks like they made some impact. But thank God Antonio Conte giving it large to Tuchel was always pleasant to see.
Oh, yeah.
And another battle at the bridge, which was fantastic. But yeah, do you know what, Marlon? I think with the fact that we got 5 subs now, make him bring them on a bit earlier because he's got that insurance policy, being able to change it a few more times. But it looks like today he got it bang on the money. But like I said, daylight robbery. Daylight robbery.
No, agreed. Definitely daylight robbery.
It definitely was. I mean, it was quite funny at the end because obviously Tuchel and Conte both got a red card now, so they're both going to be in the stands for the game. They won't be able to be on the touchline. Do you think it'll make a difference for us at Wolves? Do you think not having the passionate man that he is, Antonio Conte, on the sidelines?
the way Antonio Conte screams, they're probably hearing from the stand he did anyway. So there's not really an issue with that. But I tell you what, we missed that whole ruck because literally, I don't know why, this new thing that's taken over DAZN Fubo, we're just watching it, and then 30 seconds before the final whistle, it just started showing us highlights of Arsenal Crystal Palace. And we're like, what the? What? So everyone's grabbing their phones out, and then when we came back, we saw the ruck on the pit, but we caught the tail end of it. But do you know what? That's Conte's passion, and that's what Conte does. He'll still run the show from the sideline. If not, Paratici will be down there doing just as big.
Yeah, he probably will be. I mean, would you say you're happy about the point today? And like, in terms of, we've got a couple of weeks left in the window. I know you've said a centre back. Do you think there's anything else we need going into this season? Depending on what, like, you feel where you want Tottenham to be this season, because obviously we're not. My opinion, I don't think we're going to challenge this season. That's not what they want to do, from what I know. But in terms of getting closer to those three teams above us, in terms of Chelsea, Liverpool, and City, what do you think we need this season to try and push a bit closer?
And just to add on to what you just said there, do you think we're any closer to Chelsea than we were last year? But after
we're definitely closer to Chelsea than we were last year, Marlon. But look, if we just sign one right back, but when I say a right back, it has to be like a Skriniar, a Bastoni, like a ready, not, we wanted those, let's go get a Joe Rodon. It needs to be an elite player. I would love us to get a Cam, but I would rather the centre back came in. That is the absolute necessity for me. It has to be done. Has to be done.
I think I agree. After seeing that today, I think I've now decided, I think it is the centre-back that we need more than the central attacking midfielder, because you can always drop Kulu into that midfield if you really wanted to and change the system. But I think the centre-back is so crucial, because if we lose a Romero to an injury, I'm just not sure if Davinson Sanchez. You got to remember, we're playing Champions League football this season. We're not playing one game a week in the Premier League where we've got to rely on Davinson Sanchez to kind of and Dyer to keep it cool at the back. We could be playing top teams.
And Danny, I have to say, fair play to Romero for shithousery of the decade with pulling Rapunzel's hair down.
That was the fun. Mate, it was you. I don't know how you got back so.
I know. Look, I've got no hair left. That's how Andy pulls. I've got no hair left.
That's why it's gone.
Exactly,
okay.
Mate. He had a proper tug on Rapunzel's hair, didn't he? It was like fucking ridiculous.
That was the
shithousery from that guy, and he didn't even get booked.
He didn't get booked, and he didn't get a foul for it either against him. And then the direct corner after that is where it led to the goal. So that's what's quite funny about it. And
the beauty of Romero.
The beauty of Romero, and for once, we actually got the tides turned for once, and we actually got some luck in that situation. Because normally it's always against us. Look what happened last season. Remember when Harry Kane scored that goal, and the player tripped over because Harry Kane touched him on the back, and they called it a foul, and it wasn't. And everyone was like, "No, it's not a foul." Even commentators were saying there wasn't a foul. But I mean, look, a point of the bridge, you can't complain, right? I mean, how was it today How was it today in the pub today, Brian?
Well, you've got a couple of videos already sent to you on WhatsApp. Let's just say the first half was quite quiet, but then after the equaliser, scenes, limbs, my voice is just recovering. It was going mental in here. You'll see the videos. I've got a few more to send you as well.
All right. Before you go, Brian, I wanted to ask you on Son. What did you think of Son's performance today?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Son was terrible.
So do you think then, if he keeps playing like this, do you think there's a chance that Richarlison might get some starts ahead of him? Or even Perisic?
He might just do. Listen, Son, you got to remember, there's been so many games last season where it was Son and Kane that only turned up. Yeah. Only them that turned up. It's been 2 games where they haven't been at their best, but I don't think you could drop them just yet. But they know that if you do carry on this, we will quickly change this and Richarlison will come in. So hopefully, come Wolves, because we need revenge against Wolves after that shambolic. My God, I've said shambolic so many times today. That shambolic, I'll say it again, performance. We need revenge against Wolves, and hopefully we will.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big game, that game. And I would like to see a few different faces on that pitch for the Wolves game. Do you know? I think Emerson didn't have the greatest game. And I'm not saying to give him a start now, but I do want to start seeing Spence come on.
Yeah.
Because I think the more I see him, the more I think he can offer us something completely different that we don't have this season. In terms of that direct threat from a right wing back, and today it was lacking someone who could just go at those players. I think Kulu has marked out the game quite a bit today, so it's unfortunate for him. But obviously, he can't play like a world superstar every single game. But it was just lacking one or two players who could really run at the Chelsea defence. I think if we had that, it might have been different, and we could have maybe opened the game up even more.
Brian, what changes would you...
He could have gone the other way with Spence, and he could have had a nightmare at the bridge, and that could have damaged him. Yeah. So,
true. I wouldn't have started him, no way, but...
What changes Wolves would you make for Wolves? If you would you go with the same starting 11, or would you make one or two? Who would you bring in?
Do you know what? I don't even... It's a tough... I mean, if Perisic is fit, we've got to start looking at Perisic.
Yeah,
even if he can't... Do you know what? Even if you play him on the right. And Eustis on the left... I want to see more of Bissouma. I really do.
Really good when he came on.
Yeah, he was.
I think we'll start seeing a bit more from them too. So, and Richarlison will have to earn his place. I'm sure he'll come on against Wolves, and then we go from there. But it's good to have these options, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what? One thing I loved at the end, Bissouma, when he went to the Spurs fans, he was like, "Come on!" He was like cheering them up. He was going absolutely nuts. I think he's going to be fully COYS, man. He's going to be COYS.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he's going to channel his inner Lucas.
Yeah, he is. I think so. But yeah, thank you very much, Brian, man, and big up for today, man, and appreciate you coming on.
Big up, Brian.
No worries, guys. Always a pleasure. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you later, Brian. Right, Marlon. So, Vinny, who we got next? Who should we get the next guest on? Oh, look who we've got coming on. I haven't spoke to my Brazilian Samba brother for a long time. Marcelo, man. Big up, brother. How are you doing, man? Oh, Marcel, you're on mute, mate. Carl, this is rookie mistake, Marcelo.
I thought I was in Ocean's 11. I thought I was watching Ocean's 11, bro. That was a robbery. That was the biggest heist job I've ever seen in my life. And you know what? I loved it. I'm not gonna go crazy for the result in itself. Personally, I think the performance could have been better in the first half. I thought the second half we improved. I'm not going to be like Arsenal fans and, celebrating draws here and there, but I will say this. I will say this, though. This is actually, if you look at the stats, our hardest game of the season.
Yeah.
It's the hardest game of the season. And getting a point at Stamford Bridge, I always say, getting a point at the Bridge or at Anfield is not a bad result. You can look at positives. And
not at all.
The positive that I saw today was, we never gave up. We had that nasty fight. You know what I mean? Romero, he was nasty, bro, pulling Cucurella's hair. You know what I mean? That's why that's what you gotta do though when you play Chelsea. Chelsea is a nasty team, bro. You saw the tackles, they win the second ball. You gotta be nasty when you play Chelsea, man. And I saw that in the second half. I saw that nastiness that I was looking forward to. I saw that fight back, bro. You know what I mean? So those are positives that you can really look onto the team. This is, I will say, a team with a different mentality. I think Spurs last season, after that first half performance, would have crumbled and given up in the second half. Yeah. Do you guys agree or not? I personally
I agree.
But do you think that's down to the options that he now has? Because obviously a lot of that team that started in the first half, it was last season's team pretty much. But as soon as the subs came on, the mentality changed on that pitch.
Absolutely. And you know what? Look, this is what I was saying about Richarlison. This is what I was saying about, having, people like Bissouma. Is regardless of whether they start or not, they're in the team and they can help us out. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And, last season, who would have put in? Lucas Moura and Harry Winks, bro. We're screwed. Game over. True. Game over. True. Blow the whistle. It's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? But now we were able to bring in Bissouma, Perisic, and Richarlison. And in my opinion, they helped change the game. They were, Richarlison was full of energy. I thought, Bissouma, even though he had very little of him, but I thought he was okay. I thought Perisic was very good. I thought he was very active on this left-hand side. So I thought, I saw a lot of positives today. Negative, defending, bro. We need another center back.
Fucking we do, Marcelo, man.
We need another center back,
Marcelo,
bro.
we can't have moon boots there the whole season.
I keep saying this thing about this Dyer fella. Like, look, he's improved, man. But if you want to start contending for titles, what was he doing in that second goal, man?
Oh,
you know what I mean? He got completely sucked in. You know, I know people are looking at Ben Davies, and you know, I'm not gonna blame too much Ben Davies because, in my opinion, if you look at that second goal again, you look Eric Dyer's being sucked into the right side. You look at Romero in the midfield. And you know, Ben Davies is the only one in his spot, and it's a 2v1. You can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna blame Ben Davies for that.
It wasn't. That was definitely Dyer's fault there.
Dyer,
like you said,
what was
Ben
he doing?
It was only one in the box, like central. But Dyer was literally standing next to Romero.
Yeah. You're a central center back, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you doing on the right hand side?
But
stay in the center.
Do you know what the worst thing is, Marcelo? It was the fact that there was no leadership from him, even to say, look, Romero, or get over there, or even to bring himself into the center more. He just didn't communicate at all and just left Davis by himself, and obviously
very exposed as well.
It was very exposed. It was inevitable it was going to happen.
I'll say this though, our heads didn't drop, and that's another thing about that's why I that's the big positive I take from today. I think it was our mentality and the fact that we got a point at our hardest game of the season. And you know what? If you really think about it, a lot of the games are going to be tougher than this one. There's not a lot of other games other than Anfield and the Etihad. There's not a lot more games that's going to be tougher than this one, and also Arsenal away.
Arsenal,
you know?
No, I completely agree, Marcelo. I think with the fact that we played so badly, and the last kind of 3 or 4 games we played Chelsea, we haven't even scored a goal, and we played this kind of poorly, and we've scored 2 goals in we've had 4. I think the stats were 5 or 6 shots we had the whole game, and we scored 2 goals, and that we've had a bit of more shithousery from some of the players. Marlon was saying, Marlon still had the faith that we were going to get the goal right at the end, and we did. And we had a bit of luck as well, but we need it if we're going to get something from these kind of places.
And I'll say this, look, I know people are hyping up Chelsea's performance, but I'll say this, other than the 2 goals and that Harvard miss, they weren't creating many chances. I thought we were really nice and compact. I thought for the most part, the defending was good. It was just, I think, in the second balls. You know what I mean? Every time there was a free ball, Chelsea was always on it. We got to get better on that, bro. Every loose ball, they were on it. You know what I mean? We gotta win that second ball, man. You know what I mean? We got to be nasty.
Yeah, we just didn't recycle the ball very well.
Exactly.
And that was the biggest problem today. But to finish with a 2-2 draw after that performance, you just got to hold your hands up and go, it is what it is.
And you know what? Chelsea fans, they're going to be sour grapes, bro, because they thought this was going to be another Tottenham, performance, another day.
Technically it was.
Technically it was, but it was daylight robbery, bro. I always said it. That felt like the bridge, but it was reversed. It felt like they lost 2 points and we gained a point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that was
Marcelo, what's your thoughts on your main man and your boy Sonny today? What was your feelings on Sonny?
He was poor, man. He was poor. And I agree with the Richarlison substitution. And you know what? Look, I love Son, but he's got to perform. He's got to perform. And if he's not performing and Richarlison is, then you gotta put your hands up and say, look, Richarlison, maybe, if he continues this form, he takes that spot. You know what I mean? That's why we need depth. That's why we need these players. And Richarlison, listen, I know him from Brazil. He's definitely one of those guys that he's looking at Sonny's spot. You know what I mean? He's crazy, man. He loves playing football. I love that guy.
And you could see when he came on, he had the energy. He was running about. He was getting in their faces more.
And that's what we needed.
I think what we lacked in the first half, we got towards the end when they started coming on, was the pressing from the front, because Chelsea were doing that really well against us in the first half, and we couldn't get out of our own half, and that's why we struggled to recycle the ball forward. And then as soon as they came on, you could see that we were pressing them and we were closing them down. We were putting more pressure on Chelsea, and then you could see it because we end up scoring the goals when they started coming on.
Well, I also thought, I was kind of thinking maybe Richarlison should have started before the game. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted, because personally, look, I love Sonny, but sometimes he's a little bit too nice. In a game against Chelsea, like I said, you got to be nasty. And Richarlison, he's got that nasty spirit. You know,
there's a few people in the comments saying the similar thing today, Marcelo. They were saying that Sonny was a bit too nice and that he needs to be a bit more aggressive, because you could see it today, like especially from defending that corner. He should have been right up against Koulibaly.
Yeah,
he was the
right
closest person. It was the closest person to him, and if that was Richarlison, he'd be all over him.
Yeah, it would have been in his face,
over him. He wouldn't have let him have that space.
Yeah,
but, and that's the difference. I think, like not to say Son's not an amazing player, because he's one of our best players, and we love Son, But it's just the fact that today, in certain games like that, you need him to be more aggressive. And there has been occasions against Chelsea, especially where Son hasn't turned up. He has done a few times, but majority of the time he's quite quiet. But the good thing is now it looks like we've got the options. So what I would have liked to have seen is maybe had the options come on a little bit earlier, because I think we could have maybe even pushed on even more if they'd come on and had a bit more time to impact the game. Sure. But yeah, I mean, what's your feeling on kind of in terms of the transfer window? Like, do you think we need? I know you mentioned about centre back. Do you think we need? Is that all we need? We need other players, or?
Look, in terms of the transfer window, you know, I know you've been kind of criticizing it, Danny. I personally think it's been a great transfer window. I know we need that center back. I know we still need more players. But if you look at it realistically, you can't always get, you know, everybody. You can't always get the players. And we did try to get the center backs we wanted. We just couldn't. And I rather us not spend the money on like someone like Joe Rodon and like hold to our guns and wait for our target than just go and buying a center back. So you know what? Look, I still think we're going to have a great season. And I think, you know, a lot of people say, oh, look, you know, we're still playing the same team and stuff like that. You know, listen, it takes time for the team to gel. It takes time for these new players to come in and gel with the team. Conte is, you can see, slowly putting them into the pitch, and he's slowly getting them into the team. Halfway through the season, I guarantee you some of those players are going to start starting.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the two that everyone wants to see, and I've been saying this religiously everywhere, is that Perisic and Bissouma
start
instantly
start them now. I want to start Perisic now.
100%. I think both. Okay, let me ask you this, Marcelo. Then, if Bissouma's going to start, because I think in the long term he's going to be a mainstay in our team. Yeah. Who do you think is going to come out? Is it going to be Bentancur, or is it going to be Højbjerg, or is it going to be a rotation basis?
You see, I think that's more of a rotation, because you know I know people like to pick on Højbjerg. I like Højbjerg. You know, he came clutch for us today. I usually like Højbjerg. I thought he had a poor performance first half today, but I think, you know, our Bentancur, Højbjerg, you know, Skip when he come back. Yeah. Those are all solid midfielders. I'm okay with that being you know, Bissouma being that rotation. But I think in terms of left wing back, I think it has to be Perisic. Yeah, he just showed experience, bro. Experience and skills. You know what I mean? Like, the guy has just good football, man. He just understands good football.
Yeah, he's got an intelligent mind. That's the thing. He's got intelligent football brain. He knows. I mean, it was him that was the one that was like causing the problems when he came on. Yeah. I know he wasn't getting crosses into the box because James was cutting out his crosses, but from the corners, his first corner was like we were saying, like, it's a Tottenham curse. He didn't beat his first man, but after that, his corners are really good. They're very dangerous, and it's good to see we've got someone who can take a corner.
The issue was, and also my opinion was, in Sessignon the first half, he wasn't giving James nothing to think about. You know, so James, all he was doing is man marking Son. You know what I mean? James kind of had a free first half, in my opinion. And, you know, you need someone to kind of, you know, challenge that side. Even though he's not getting the crosses in, you got to challenge that side, man. You got to get the defender, you know, to give up space, to go down there and have to defend and stop the crosses. That's how you open up. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the season now to see exactly what we can do with the players, and as long as our players can stay fit, I think it's going to be a very exciting season for us.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Come on, you Spurs.
Marcelo, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on, brother. It's nice to see you again. I haven't spoken to you for a while. And by the way, I like that. Is that a new mic? Is that a new mic I see? I haven't seen that before.
Yeah. I got a blue. I got a new whole.
You sound a lot more silky now, man. The silky Samba brother, man.
Yeah. You know, I mean, Tottenham is upgrading, so I was like, you know, I gotta spend my own money.
I love it, man. I love it. Big up, Marcelo, man. Thank you for coming. Come on, you Spurs. Oh, that was good, man. It's nice. Always good to see Marcelo. Always brings the positive vibes all the time. But yeah, Ryan, I think we should get on. We'll keep going. Let's get on the next guest. Who's the next guest, Vinny? Oh, look who it is, Mr. Ryan Isaacs, the man himself. How you doing, Ryan?
Tottenham till they kill me.
All of us.
Tell me about it, man. Yeah. Tell us your thoughts on the game and what's going through your mind, mate.
Robbery. How we got away with that with a point is
seems to be the common theme.
Yeah, everyone's saying it, man.
We take a point and we move. That's kind of the phrase we've got to just use, but it's only a good point if we go and beat Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah,
we have to carry on with this momentum now. We cannot stop. It'll be so Spursy to nick a point here and go and drop points against Wolves. We have to go there and take Wolves down, and then we got to go to Forest and win there, and go to West Ham and win there.
Yeah.
Until we meet Man City, we have to carry on now. It's a great point. It was an awful first half performance. Not too much better second half. Let's be real. It's ironic that apart from Son, the two worst players on the pitch got the equalisers, Højbjerg and Kane.
Yeah. It's funny you said it, Ryan, because I was saying to Mon, like, we need to get Højbjerg off because he was so poor. And then as soon as
he was hiding again. He has these games where he just goes hiding.
But do you know what? It was also Bentancur as well at times. And then what happened was it seemed to be in the first half, Højbjerg was the worst out of the two, and he was misplacing all his passes. He made one good pass at Richarlison in the second half, which was offside, which was a great through ball, but unfortunately Richarlison was offside. But then it's like the roles reversed, and then in the second half, Bentancur was the worst player, and Højbjerg started picking up. And then as soon as I kept saying he needs to come off, and then he goes and scores a goal.
We both said the same thing.
It's that typical kind of that you're putting a block on it, and then he goes and does something you least expect. But I mean, look, it was nice. What I think was good was to see the different options that came on. And I think for me, it was more so the formation change, because Conte doesn't normally play a 4-4-2, and he went into a 4-4-2 and played Kane and Richarlison up top, and then put Perisic on the left, and then Basuma came on for Bentancur.
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that we were able to do that, and it's something different that Conte doesn't normally do? Maybe do you think that that's going to maybe kind of surprise teams along the way to try and change a result, or try and change the way the game is going forward?
A little bit. Let's not forget last year when we went to the bridge in the league, he started with a back four. He went 4-4-2. Yeah. He played all four defensive. You know, he had like Davis and Reguilon, and he had Doherty and Emerson both playing in like a back eight almost to just try and nick a result. And to be honest, we probably should have done, because Kane had his goal disallowed. But it will surprise a few teams. It's nice to have that option off the bench with Richarlison and others. Lucas Moura, again, you know, versatile, can play right wing back. The one that obviously people are going to be talking about is Son.
Yeah, of course.
Not his best day today. It was all over the place. Couldn't get hold of the ball. Wouldn't stick. Same with Kane, but Kane's Kane. But Son, again, one of these off days in a big game.
Right, what did you make of the whole front three? Because obviously we're all talking about Kane and Son, but what about Kulu on the right-hand side today? Because obviously he probably weren't much in the game either.
No, he was very isolated. He had, I can't remember if it was Kulu or Kane, but he had the chance to play Son in really early on, about third or fourth minute, and he played the ball. He didn't have the right weight, but he played it too early. I can't remember him. Where what he should have done is he should have drove with the ball and tried to draw out. I think it was Thiago Silva. If he draws him out, then Son's in with a simple finish. Apart from that, he didn't really get in the game. Of course, he was the one that lost the ball, which led to their second goal. And wasn't his best day. But once again, when you've got top quality players, you give them half a chance. Harry Kane's header was top class, and we take it and move. I'm just delighted with the point, the fight near the end. I'm so happy that Conte gave it to Tuchel as well.
I think everyone's happy about that one.
I was going to come on to that and say, how did you enjoy the Conte masterclass in terms of the absolute shithousery from him with Tuchel? And obviously,
loved it.
It was brilliant to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great to see. It was great to see a manager actually showing that fight for his team, for his club. And hopefully the players will see that and use that as belief in them that the manager does want to be here. Because if Conte didn't want to be here, he wouldn't do stuff like that. So that's where I think people need to start waking up. I think Conte is going to be here for the long run. Fingers crossed. And yeah, it's just overall, we don't go to grounds like this, play badly and nick a point. We go to grounds like this, either play half decent and a lucky goal for the opposition we lose, or we just roll over and allow our bellies to be tickled. It's just so nice for something different that we've kind of shithoused a point, and it just doesn't happen with us. So that's also a positive.
Yeah. Do you think then, it's like we're kind of saying with Marcelo before, do you think that is kind of there is like a switch in the mentality then, you could say? Because in history in the last couple of years, we would have dropped our heads. We probably wouldn't have believed that we could get something, even though we were playing so bad. Do you think that's because of, well, what do you think that's down to? Do you think that's down to Conte? Do you think that's down to the players that we brought in? What do you think it is? Because obviously there was definitely something different today, because obviously we did get that point, which maybe in the last few years we probably wouldn't have got that point.
Conte and running 42 laps in South Korea's heat and humidity would have helped with that.
You think Son's still suffering from that?
Yeah, I think it's just a good day to be a Spurs fan. Let's be honest, it's nice to give it to them, but always focusing forward. Conte will know this game will now be at the back of his mind, and we've got to move on to Wolves. Hearing that Ryan Mason will be taking charge of that game. He will be the man in the dugout. So that means Harry Winks will most likely play.
Oh, don't, Ryan, don't. I don't want to see him ever in a Spurs shirt again. Could you imagine Harry Winks starts the game? Oh, don't.
Probably I think Conte will come on and have the best performance of his life, though.
I think Conte will rip his hair out when he'll go and pull him to the ground like Cucurella got pulled to the ground by Romero.
Yeah.
Oh man. But what, are you gutted? Are you gutted you weren't there today, Ryan?
I'm absolutely gutted not to have been there. Missed out, obviously, by a few points. Hopefully next year, but yeah, would have loved to have been in that away end when Kane's flicked dead. I actually thought Richarlison headed it in. I was just saying.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, we saw him running away, and yeah, exactly. We saw him running away, and we're like, "Oh my god, my bet's coming." Richarlison's got his goal, and then obviously Harry Kane got it.
But does that not show you how Richarlison's a team player? Because obviously he's run off, and we're all thinking he scored, but he's just more than happy that actually the goal's gone in.
Yeah.
So it's showing a different side.
The moment, the game, the opposition, it was always going to kick off like that. Just overall, just delighted with the point. I won't say much on the performance. We know the performance wasn't up to scratch. To be honest, the whole team, we've just dug in and nicked a point where in past years we would have folded and it would have been 3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Totally agree.
I thought in the first half we were going to concede another one. And then when the second half started and Chelsea started playing again with the same sort of intensity, and we still weren't playing, we weren't giving it more of an effort. And then I thought, oh god, they're going to score another one, and it's going to be then their players, the heads are going to drop. But they didn't concede, and they actually went and scored one. And then
they didn't concede. We were lucky because Chelsea were all over us. Chelsea, previous caller Marcelo, and he said apart from the goals Chelsea had, they dominated. They absolutely dominated us. They had chances. The Sterling one where he blazed it over a minute before Kane was through. Havertz put it over. The Mount one where he put it near post, just put it wide when it was 2-1. That was late on. So they had chances to bury that game, and it's just things that you look at that. I know it's 2 games in, but you'll come back to this game at the end of the season and think big point, big point.
Yeah. I agree. I couldn't agree more, Ryan. I think that's the best way you could sum it up, because it is a big point, and I think it does show. You could say some of the progress that we have made in the last 7-8 months with Conte, because it was definitely a different feel today. We all know we played badly, but it was definitely a different feel.
Yeah,
there was more resilience in the team. There was definitely more resilience in the team. Even though, I mean, what do you think in terms of the centre backs? Do you still think we need another centre back this season in the transfer window?
We need a leader at the back. We haven't had one since Ledley King. People talk about Vertonghen and Alderweireld. They were just good, great centre backs, but we haven't had a leader yet. And I think Dyer's been brilliant, but we need someone that can lead, that can marshal the back three of a Romero and a Davis, or Romero and Longley in that back. So that's definitely a position we definitely need this summer, if not next, if we can't get one in. But I still we need a creative midfielder.
Do you think if we had a leader today, them 2 goals can be avoided?
First one, no, because I think that's more tactical because we set up. That's just the way we set up from the corner. The second one, 100%. It reminds me of a game where Davis got absolutely bulldozed 3 or 4 years ago under Poch away at Man City when we lost 4-1 and De Bruyne around the show. And we kept on getting done Davis's side because Dyer kept on. He had to tuck in. He tucked in too much, but on this occasion he had to tuck in because Dyer was so far on the right that if Davis didn't tuck in, Sterling was through anyway. He had to tuck in. So there's no blame to Davis for there. It is down to Dyer's positioning. Probably his only mistake the past 7-8 months. So I won't hold him to that. Other than that, Dyer still had a great game. He was solid in the air, put his body on the line for blocks, as did Davis. Just a lapse in concentration of positioning, and that's all it takes at the top level. But if you have a top centre back who leads and marshals the centre backs, something like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between being a top team who's going to win trophies and being where we are. I think, in all honesty, I think Dyer had in my opinion, I think Dyer had a decent game. It wasn't great. He was obviously, I think he could have done better for the and help in terms of making sure people were aware of what was around them for the first goal, because he didn't look not once behind him. We watched the replay twice and he didn't look. I think he might have turned his head once, and then after that,
because he was organising.
But
he didn't look behind him to see that Royale and Son were completely. There was 3 other Chelsea players, and there's 4 Spurs players at the front post. So actually, in that situation,
that's why I'd always. I look. Everyone talks about man marking or zonal from corners. I'm always a man marking. You have your man and you stick with him.
Yeah.
Zonal mark. I mean, it was mentioned on commentary. You know, the amount of time we had, like Kane has his position front post. We had 4 players marking nobody, and they had 3 players at the back.
Exactly.
It's just unorganised. Whether that comes from the players or whether that comes from Conte and the way he wants to set up from set pieces. But I've never liked zonal marking. I've always been a man-to-man kind of guy, where you have your man, you stick with him. If you lose him and they score, it's your fault. Simple as that. I still think we need a creative midfielder. I really do, guys. I mean, apart from
so do I.
I mean, the goals. Look, it was a Højbjerg snapshot from the edge of the box and a set piece, which was a brilliant ball in by Perisic. But
it was.
Apart from that, can you say we created chances in terms of opening up? No, and that's where you're going to need another top player coming in, the one that can open up the doors in these big games, and that's what we need. So
what,
I don't think we'll.
Go on, Ryan. Sorry, go on.
I don't think we'll get the centre back in. To be honest with you, I think Longley was the only one, and I think we'll just stick with Sanchez, to add depth there. I think we're still a year out from properly challenging City. Look, we'll be there or thereabouts going January, February, but we'll fade still. I hope we don't. I hope we can stick around as long as possible, but I still think we're 1 or 2 top players short. But if we can go get the creative midfielder in now, go and get him. And there's one name that I know I want.
Who's that then?
James Maddison. I've said it mentioned at all. He was Leicester's best player yesterday. He can take set pieces.
For me, it's Maddison as well, because he's.
The only thing I'd say about Maddison is, Conte plays 3-4-3. He's not going to change his formation just for Maddison.
He played 3 in midfield today when he changed to a 4. It wasn't a 4-4-2.
But I'm more thinking a starting lineup each week. He tends to not change that. He tends to keep the 2, and it will be Kulu and it Kulu.
Was the reason behind that because he didn't have the option of a creative midfield?
Yeah, that's
look at it. At Inter Milan, he had the option. Because he had Eriksen, he went to a 3-5-2.
But would he not? We've had the whole summer to try and sign an attacking midfielder, and he hasn't done it. And if he was really going to go down that route, wouldn't that have been a priority?
Maybe. I think I think he does want a creative midfielder.
He does want one. I'm not saying that, but I'm just thinking more in the James Maddison mode. You are expecting someone to come in, and he's going to want to play every week. And I'm just looking at it more of Conte hasn't changed it. He hasn't changed the 3-4-3. He's always gone with that. And today was the first time we saw him actually change the formation. And maybe he would have brought on someone like James Maddison. But is he going to change his formation long term? And is he going to break up the front 3 of Kulu, Son, and Kane?
In my opinion,
long term. That's the question. And because Maddison's a lot of money for someone who. I get why people want him, but is he the player that's
gonna? Isn't Richarlison the same thing?
Yeah.
Richarlison is slightly different because he's come from Everton. If that makes any sense, it's more of a case of Richarlison knew straight away. I don't think Maddison's going to sit there and have the same desire as Richarlison. Richarlison will think, I'm getting in this team. But where I don't think Maddison will.
I think he can, because there'll be a lot more games. You've got to remember there's so many competitions.
Of course.
And there'll be a lot more games where Conte will want to switch the formation, because against Chelsea, I think he may have matched them with the formation in terms of three in midfield. Well, they play the same as us today, but sometimes they go three in midfield as well. And I think if you want to be a top team, you need top quality players everywhere. And if you are going to come into a team like Tottenham, you can't expect that you're going to play every game, because...
But Maddison will.
Yeah, no, the thing is, maybe not, though, because you're going to another level of club. Like, Tottenham is a bigger club than Leicester, even though Leicester won more than us lately.
But will Maddison see it like that? That's the question you have to ask. So will Maddison come in and go...
If he wants to play in a team that wants to challenge for a title, then if he's going to go to a Man City, it's going to be even less, because look at Man City last season. Only Kevin De Bruyne played more than 30 games in the Premier League last season.
Agreed.
And that tells you how much they rotate, because in order to keep that level of consistency and that level of top football, you have to rotate all your players a lot.
But can
Conte, I think, wants to do that.
But can the top teams do that? Because actually they've got trophies behind them to back what, they can sit and go, you'll get a trophy out of this. Spurs can't really say that. Spurs, and we're not there yet. In a year's time, if Conte wins something, we can start doing that. Liverpool are in the same boat. Liverpool had the same starting lineup, but it's only now that they've started to go, actually, we can bring in top quality players and go, you can come in, because people will see that they can win stuff. But I don't think we are quite there to go to James Maddison and go, actually, this is what we can give you. Because at the end of the day, he's won more at Leicester than Spurs have won.
He is, but that is true, but the difference is Antonio Conte.
It is the difference, but again, Antonio Conte is not committing himself. Yeah,
and Champions League. What do you think, Ryan, on this? What do you think? Do you think, James, we could get in a Maddison if we actually put the money on the table?
And who comes out your starting lineup to make way for Maddison?
I think it's a rotation for me, but I want to hear what Ryan thinks.
Well, it's a rotation, but if I had to pick one,
I've seen him do it. But
or you can even drop Son and play two number 10s in Kulu and Kane.
I can't drop Son. I know he's had a poor game today, but you
can't. But it's to give the players the rotation so that they know that if they don't play a good game, you've
across the front three. No one's in a set position all the time.
That's how we used to play with Poch, wasn't it?
Yeah. Everyone would be a bit more fluid, and I think we're a bit more static out wide. I mean, Kulu's going to stay on the right, Son's going to be on the left. Sometimes he'll move in, and Kane's going to be through the middle or dropping deep. Whereas if we had a bit more fluidity where, Kulu could roll into the middle, Maddison would go out wide, and Kane will drop deep, Son would come around, it'd be a lot more fluid, and people wouldn't be able to pick up their runners as much.
Yeah, I think it's about it's about just giving the players the rest as well. It's like, even if it's Harry Kane, just like whatever it is, Conte, you can see the way he's building his team. He wants to rotate players because he knows that if he wants to compete for all the competitions, the more you rotate, obviously it can also be a bad thing. But if you do it cleverly, then at least it keeps the level of performance up, and everyone's still trying to push to try and get into the team and keeping everyone happy as well. Because that's also another thing he has to do is keep everyone happy.
Keeping everyone happy. That's going to be so important.
So. And like, you look at Liverpool, Man City, they rotate a lot. And the league game, they go to an FA Cup game.
But Liverpool have only just started rotating. If you look at
of course.
If you look at it before, it was always constantly Firmino, Mane, Salah, and then it was always the same three in midfield and the same. It was always the same. When they started to get in the finals and stuff like that, and then they started to bring in the Jotas, the Diaz's, and stuff like that. So I just think we are where Liverpool were. At the beginning.
We're building.
We're at that building stage. So, how many times did Salah, Mane, and Firmino sit on the bench?
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting times. I mean, it's exciting times.
So, it's positive. It's positive. And today's a positive by, the substitutions today were just brilliant to see. And I think that's the biggest positive we can take away from this game.
Yeah.
100%.
Ryan, I want to say
I'll let you guys go now. Been on for a while. You got loads of people waiting in the background.
No, we'll get through them. But yeah, big up, Ryan. Thanks for coming on, man. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, man. And I'll see you at the Wolves game.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
See you Saturday, man. Come on. So yeah, let's bring on the next guest. Who have we got? Well, we got. I know who we've got. It's the man himself, Mr. Arian. How you doing, brother?
I am doing amazing, man. Like, I don't care. Everyone's gonna say it was a robbery. Everyone, look. I'm gonna say it here. Look, I'm gonna say it. I don't care how we got that point. I don't care if Chelsea got 7 penalties, all right, and we had 3 red cards and we still got a point. I don't care. Look, we got a point at Stamford Bridge, 2-2. Last time we scored 2 goals when we were down, 2 goals after we were trailing against Chelsea was like 2016, all right, or some year like a decade ago almost, right? So all this nonsense about how we didn't deserve it, that makes the point better. How when have you seen Tottenham at Stamford Bridge concede twice, and keep going, keep taking it with them? It's like Antonio Conte, what he did with Tuchel at the very end kind of symbolized exactly what happened in the game. Tuchel grabbed his arm and he just looks him dead in the eyes, and Tuchel fucking backed off the beta. You see that? Antonio Conte looked him dead in the eyes, stared him to his fucking soul. And you can see Tuchel was scared, bro, and he went in and he pushed Kovacic. I don't know what I don't know.
It was great to see, wasn't it, Arian? Though it was fucking amazing.
Fucking amazing! I love that game. Look, dude, I hated the first 95 minutes and 40 seconds. I hated it all, but that last 20 seconds made everything worth it, man. Perisic on them corners, he's the real Slim Shady. I'm telling you, with those fucking crosses, I absolutely we finally have someone who we can rely on. We've been used to Eriksen hitting the first man, and it's Son hitting it wherever it goes. Like sometimes it ends up being right. But with Perisic, other than the first one was a warning shot, man. First one was a warning shot. Everything else was pinpoint, and the passion in the team. Romero screaming in fucking Reece James's face, pulling Cucurella's out so he can get Conte a new wig. Richarlison celebrating like he was the one who scored it, man. It was just the spirit in the team. Bissouma thought he was Klopp. At the very end, he was pumping the crowd up like that.
That was amazing. I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
Together.
Was this like a best non-football performance from Spurs today?
Today was a movie. This wasn't a football match. It's like you watch a sports movie like when half of it is all drama. It was box office. This is what you want Conte in the Premier League for. You don't want to see this bullshit with Pep and Klopp who are basically sucking each other off throughout the season. No, this is like you have them fighting. Right?
I completely agree.
It's drama, it's box office, it's football, it's passion, it's rivalry, it's derbies, it's hard tackles. Romero and Koulibaly were going at it. You see them two are just riling in every time Kulusevski had the ball. He had 2 people from each side fuck him up. It was amazing. I don't even if it was our play, there was even an injury in N'Golo Kante. I hope he recovers. Or doesn't. I don't know. He's Chelsea, but I don't care. But everything, I love it.
Well, I mean, you better get used to it, Arian, because there's going to be a lot more of this season from what we can see.
Yeah, 36 games left now.
Right, yeah, this is game week 2. Buckle up. What was who I want to talk about?
Go on. Sorry. No, you go for it.
You go for it.
The stage is all yours, Arian. It's always yours, mate. It's always yours.
All right. All right. So who I really want to talk about is I think Richarlison really changed the game, man. I think if we had Richarlison, I love Sonny. I would never before the game have said, "Oh, you take Richarlison in for Sonny." I would never have done that. But Sonny had Reece James sniffing his ass the whole half, the first half specifically, right? And when he got that yellow card, it was like Son got the yellow card. He was backing off half the time, right? I already know if Richarlison was the one that had the defender with a yellow just constantly on him, Reece James would have been sent off minute 46. right? Because Richarlison, the second he came on, he was a pest. He was like a mosquito. He's just right there, constantly. He's in your head. Like he would never let go. It's a South American bite. You know, Romero has it. Now we have one up front. It's if you had and he changed the entire dynamic of the game. The second he came on, you see from the front, like kind of in the final third and in the half of the pitch, we were all over them. The second they had the ball, we were kind of doing what they were doing with us. We were suffocating them on the ball because we would not let them go. We held on tight. That's what I loved about Richarlison. He was really man marking at the top, and I think that completely changed the dynamic of the game. Even though it did kind of cost us in the form of a goal because of the back four. I think if that was mostly I think a problem with going with the back four. I don't think that had anything to do with Richarlison at all. So I think it was excellent. I think he really proved. Everyone was like, "Oh, 60 million is too much for him." I think fuck the price tag. It's not my money. I can spend 100 million for all I care. I think he's been an excellent signing for us.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that from Richarlison. And I know Marlon was saying it earlier that how as soon as Conte changed it to a 4-4-2, which is something he did do actually last time he did it at Chelsea, and it didn't pay off. But obviously you can't compare. We had Harry Winks and Skip in midfield on that day, or Harry Winks and Højbjerg. So and then now we had Basuma to come on. We had Perisic to come on. So I think Perisic coming on for Sonny, I think was also another game changer, because I think we all knew Sonny, it wasn't his best day. We obviously know he's a world-class player, but he just wasn't at the races today, and he wasn't as aggressive as maybe we needed him to be today. But Perisic, he gave that different dimension, and I think all the substitutes that came on made a difference in a small way, but that difference got us that point. And I think it's so different. It's so nice to see, considering how in seasons gone before we would have buckled, or we would have lost the game and we wouldn't have got the equaliser, but we absolutely robbed them blindly, and it was just so amazing to see, because I can't wait to see the banter and the crying from the Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, you lot cheated" and all this crap. It's just amazing.
It's all over.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. You should get on there. Get your popcorn before you get on.
I will, Arian. I will. Don't you worry, mate.
Fucking everywhere. It's not even just Chelsea fans. It's Liverpool fans that are in tears. Arsenal fans. Like, we have everyone. We have everyone in tears. Fucking love it. Like, everyone's talking about how Romero was snatching like Cucurella's hair. Cucurella. His hair twice his height, man. Of course he's gonna get pulled that hair, all right?
Brian Daigle's got his wig. He got his wig taken off today. That's the thing. Well, do you think it's interesting that all these fans then seem to be really talking about Spurs and where that? Why do you think that is then? Why do you think that is?
They're fucking terrified, right? All of them are terrified of this whole team. They're all. First of all, I love that we are genuinely a really, really hateable team. I fucking love it with all my heart, because we have Romero, who is an absolute Richarlison. Everybody hated Richarlison. We all hated Richarlison. The guy's a shithouse. And we have, Son is this weird hated character for some reason. I don't even care how he's hated, but he is, right? You have all of these players who are just shithouses. It's the intelligent cunts. Remember from Mourinho? These are the intelligent cunts we've been waiting for, right? They're finally here. They get in the players' minds, and all these they're scared because they have Antonio Conte, who is just famously won't back down to anyone, at the helm, and you have all of these players who would kill for him. They would kill the entire masses for Antonio Conte. So now that you have a team that's ready to actually do exactly what Conte wants, and we all know what Conte wants. He wants a team to fight. He wants a team to die. You gotta fucking die for 3 points, right? We have a team that'll do that. So of course you're gonna be scared. You have Liverpool, who have literally their depth right now is horrendous, and they have injuries pretty much in every position every other week now. You have and you have Chelsea, who. Look, everyone's gonna say we robbed them today, and I think we kind of did. But their performances, not only last week, but this week, I don't even think it was that good. In open play, they had a lot of the ball. They suppressed us, but in the final third, they were useless, bar that Havertz chance. Were. Right? They were. Like Brian said, really, for their goals, we kind of parted the Red Sea for them. They didn't build anything, right?
It's true,
and I think it was clear cut.
Yeah. I think that goes to show like how where the level was at, because we were even worse than Chelsea, yet we still managed to get a point out of it, and we scored 2 goals as well on top of that.
100%.
Do you think, Arian? Do you think we need do you think we need another centre back going into this in the last couple of weeks in the transfer window?
I think ideally, I don't think we'll get one because there's a lot of chat about how like we want. It's kind of like what Liverpool are doing in midfield. It's like, well, they want Bellingham, Barella, or bust.
Yeah.
Right. We want Bastoni, Gvardiol, or nothing. Right. So, and I think that's the right approach because we've historically gotten Joe Rodon. We're gonna get like there's a lot of talk about that.
Everyone keeps using him as an example.
Abriani. So. I really don't want us to just get someone to have someone. I think Longley is a really good, just a stopgap. We have the depth now. We'll be fine for another season. Next season, when Bastoni has 1 year on his contract, throw the whole fucking budget at him, see what happens, and from there we'll decide. Because is a long-term center back needed? Yeah, I think that's definitely what we need. But I don't think we need to rush, especially as this season is, it's unrealistic for. I think the peak of Conte, the absolute peak of Conte's powers for us is going to be next season. So it's silly to panic this season, waste 60 million on like a second choice center back, when at least maybe we could use that kind of cash to get exactly who Conte wants, give him a whole preseason next season now, and you have an even better molded team for next season as well from this season. I think it makes way more sense to get it for next year, where we're actually really at the peak of our powers. We can genuinely challenge for things like the league. We can genuinely challenge for things like the Champions League. I think because that is when Conte is going to be at his peak, at his very, very best. So it's silly to rush right now. I think we'll need it long term, but I don't think we need one this window, because I think with this window the aim is to maybe win a cup, go very far in the cups, and top 4. I think that is a genuine, realistic goals for this season. So I'm not sweating it that much because I think we're well good enough for that. I don't think there's much teams better than us, bar Liverpool and Man City. I think we're a better team than Chelsea. I think we're a better team than Arsenal. I think we're a better team. I think for our goal, we need to worry about what we're going to do for next season, and I think we still have plenty of time and money to get exactly the center back we want.
I do agree to an extent. I do think though that if they could push out the boat for a central centre back this summer, and then they go in for like a Bastoni next summer, because I think if Conte was to extend his contract, I think we get Bastoni next summer, and then you've got your left centre back. But I still think we do need competition for Dyer.
Yeah, I think having Dyer as our only central centre back is a bit of a. It can go wrong, cause especially like even if you're gonna say because he's a good player, right? Even if you want to say he's bad, you don't even have to say he's bad for it to be tricky. Because last season,
he is a good player.
He's a good player, just not defensively minded.
Right?
Yeah.
So
he's not clever, as they say.
Right, exactly. But so we still need someone to fill in that spot. So I think ideally we get one. I don't think we will, because if we really want one, because it was so widely reported how badly you wanted a center back, and I think if we really, really, really needed one, we would have gotten one by now. I think the general feeling is we can wait it out, and I think that's what we're gonna do. Ideally, yeah. If we can get Skriniar, then sure, I'll throw a party.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
That's not gonna happen. So no point speculating it.
Before you go, Aaron, is there anything else you want to add for today and how you feel about it all?
Look, all I'm gonna say is we're a hateable team. We fight so much, and I think that spirit is something we've been dying for, and it's finally back. Like that's just what I want to emphasize. We have a manager who got a red card because someone didn't shake his hand the right way.
Exactly.
Like, think about that, right? Because it's that amount of disrespect. He didn't take the disrespect, and now we have a team that doesn't take any of this bullshit. They don't take any of it, right? Romero screaming and reaching his face. Richarlison didn't get a goal or assist. I'm not saying he played bad, but he didn't get a goal for that last goal, and he celebrated it like he had won the Champions League final. I genuinely, I swear to God, I swear to God, I thought he scored the winner. I swear to God, I thought he scored the winner. Right?
Everyone was like going mad, and we're like,
everybody did. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited, and that passion we all have, that passion all of us have. We can see the fans are in it, the players are in it. They're all willing to die. They're all putting their body on the line, kill all of it on the line for Antonio Conte. And Antonio Conte is fully COYS, right?
He is.
Yeah.
We're going for big things. We are going for big things. I want everyone 2-2. That's you don't have to look at the score. 2-2. That is at Stamford Bridge. That is a massive point. And the way we play it, and it's still getting that. That is the spirit that we have been dying for. It's the thing that it's the only missing piece of the puzzle, and we finally have it. Today is a much better day than people are going to give it credit for. And I think that we're not going to realize that until like maybe months down the line when we see exactly what this team is made of, when we see what they're doing. I think that's when we're going to see how important and how big of a game this was, right?
Yeah.
And I just think it's brilliant,
yeah.
you know? So
I love that positivity, man.
Yeah,
I absolutely love your
agree.
positivity, Ari, and I love speaking to you because you always bring it, every single time, man. I want to say
I
thank
love
you for coming on, man,
combining
because
this
it
with you
was
guys.
good to chat, man.
Always good to
So,
chat.
yeah.
And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Spurs.
Big up, Ariane. Thank you for coming on, man. Big up to you. And before we get the next guest, we did get a super chat from Mr. Will Stewart. So big up to you, Will. He goes, look, fellas, we can nitpick the performance, but the shift in mentality here today is far more important. I've not seen us have this never die mentality in a long time. This is how titles are won, grinding out draws. And yeah, Will is absolutely spot on. I couldn't agree more with you, Will. And I think we have discussed it as well. The biggest thing about it is the fact that it's something that we're not used to because
Definitely, yeah.
we don't go to Stamford Bridge, play shit, and get a point.
Yeah, no, and this is the thing. You could, even when it was 2-1, and I said I can still see us getting something, because actually you could see the team was trying to push forward and be progressive, which I've not seen before. So it was even strange for me to be saying it, and it was coming out. The words were coming out of my mouth, but it's like, when we got the draw, I wasn't surprised. It was the feeling, the way that game was going. So totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's spot on. And yeah, thank you very much for the super chat, Will. Big up. I want to see if you're coming on, mate. It'll be nice to chat to you. But yeah, we go to our next guest, Mr. Rich in Savannah. How are you doing, brother? How are you feeling today after that game that we just witnessed?
Feeling really, really good. Buzzing. First 5 minutes, I thought we were good. Then they stepped up. They really pressed us well. I thought that we didn't really cope with it very well. And Kane and Son really were not at the races. They were not effective as outlets all for us. Kept having to go down the left wing to Sessegnon. I thought he did pretty well. Should have scored. Needed more from Emerson, but he was really tucked in. He was tucked in against Cucurella, so he really couldn't get forward very well. The changes from Conte were huge. Richarlison made a huge impact, just having 2 or 3 guys, focusing on him the whole time. It was a good game, fun to watch. I think Conte really hates Chelsea now. So see that.
Things we love to see, Rich. Things we love to see, mate.
Yeah. And I'm with him. Can't stand him. Tuchel is a complete asshole. Really want Conte to just to punch him, honestly.
Yeah, so did I. I was saying it at the end. I was like, I hope he fucking punches him, but we know what's gonna happen if that happens.
B-Tech Jurgen Klopp, I'm gonna call him.
B-Tech Jurgen Klopp. I like that.
Can't have that. But no, it's a good game. It's fun to watch. Definitely good fight back. Nice to see the resiliency from the team. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I want to ask you actually, what did you think stood out the most for you about today and the performance?
Definitely just the fight back. I thought defensively we weren't actually that bad. I know we took on a lot of pressure, but there weren't that many solid chances for them. I think we definitely need to back up to Dyer just to challenge him. I think he actually had a good game. And I think some of the people were saying that Dyer is responsible for the second goal. I'm not actually sure that's right. Because I think if you look, we changed to a back four at that point, and all of a sudden he's playing in the middle, and we get dragged over to one side because of a bad touch from a throw-in. Maybe it was a foul. I didn't look it back. But all of a sudden the pressure's there, and Davis has nothing to do. So I thought we played okay defensively. I think I'm worried a little bit about Kane and Son. I think they just didn't seem to be moving very well. Maybe they were just pretty well blocked, but need some more creativity there probably. But having the chance to bring on a guy like Richarlison, I think what difference that makes, you know?
Oh, it makes a massive difference.
It makes a massive difference. Like, you know, a lot of people said in the summer, why are we spending that money? But as you can see today, that's the reason why you spend it, because we need to be able to change it.
Do you think, Rich?
I think last year you would have been bringing on. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, mate. The stage is
all
yours.
I was going to say, last year you would have been bringing Lucas on, or Winks. You would have been bringing Lucas or Winks on last year, right? As your creativity, and fucking hell.
That's exactly it. Fucking hell.
You can tell in your voice there, yeah.
As soon as you say that name, Winks, it sends shivers down my spine.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I mean, you know, you mentioned about creativity. So we've asked quite a few of the guests today about what we might still need in the last couple of weeks of the transfer window. Now, some people said we might not get anyone. Some people said we might get one. If we were to get just one player, who would you rather see come in? Would you rather see a centre-back competition for Dyer, or would you rather see that creative midfielder? Because me personally, I think maybe we might get one, but I'm not so sure we're going to get any at the moment.
Or even, is there another position that you think we could be a lot stronger in?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think what I would say is I can't quite understand why we're trying to push Tanganga out the door. I think he's a good player. I think there's your competition. If you only have to pick one, there's your competition. I think attacking midfield would be good. I mean, Madison, I don't know why he would come to Spurs, actually, just because I don't think he get enough playing time. And I think he wants to try to get in the England squad. So I don't actually see that as an option.
Marlon said the same thing.
But someone like that. Yeah, who's out there, right? I'm not sure who the option is.
That's Paratici's job, hopefully.
Maybe Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a few players, but it's whether or not they want to spend the money to get them. Obviously, there's a lot of talk in Italy, and you've probably seen the reports about Zaniolo and how versatile he can be. He can play as a winger, he can play as a central attacking midfielder, a centre mid. You've also got players like Milinkovic-Savic, who's an absolute world-class player. Lazio, there's reports that he could go for 50 to 65 million pounds or 60 million pounds. He would be a top player to come into the squad. And I'm sure they'll make room for him. Maybe they change the system, who knows. But it gives us more versatility and more options. But there are players there. It's whether or not they want to spend the money, and if they're going to spend on a top player, or they're going to go for a youngster. It all depends on what they want to do.
Yeah, no, agree. Totally agree.
I guess my thought is, at this point, don't you think we would have moved for someone that Conte wanted? I kind of feel like he doesn't rate any of the players that are being talked about. And if that's the case, then whatever he wants or doesn't want, I'm good with.
Yeah, no, I to an extent. I mean, what do you think, Marlon?
No, I totally get that argument. It's just a case of we can see where certain aspects of players that we've had here for a very long time probably are not the quality that we kind of want them to be. Like, you know, is there someone out there that we can probably get that's going to give them competition? Because obviously Davis now has competition in Lenglet, but is Dyer the option? You know, because if you look at it, we've conceded 2 goals today, and if we had a top quality centre back, we need to be keeping clean sheets, not conceding 2 goals.
Yeah, I think Skriniar, if he's available, and it makes sense, then go for it. But I think what we've seen, I think they want Bastoni next year, right? I think that's really what they're trying to push for.
Yeah.
And we make do with what we've got for now, and I don't know. I'm not sure. Listen, if you can get him, but it doesn't sound like he's going to do it, right?
So if the transfer window was to close today and we haven't signed anybody, are you happy with what we've signed so far?
Yeah, I am. I think, have last year. To bring on Basuma, Perisic, Richarlison. I just go back to last year and what we had. Finished the season with 13 players, really. To go with what we've got now, I think we're in a lot better place, and I think,
of course, yeah, totally.
We can challenge the top teams,
Yeah, I think.
And then January comes around, and all of a sudden you look who's done well at the World Cup. Maybe some other people should pop up that you didn't think about now, and you've got more options, right?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion where I think if we're going to get a player, we're going to get one more. I've got a funny feeling that if we get one, it's going to be a central attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a centre back. But I think it does depend on if Tanganga goes, because if he does go, they're going to have to get another centre back. So, and then it all depends on whether they get rid of Winks as well, because if they do, then if they get rid of Winks and Reguilon, I think they might bring in a central attacking midfielder or a creative type midfielder who's versatile. I think that what they're looking for is players who are versatile, who can play in multiple positions, so they don't have to have a big squad and have one player that can play in one position. They want one player that can do 3 or 4, so that they can switch the team around, keep teams guessing, and that way you keep the squad happy, because you could play Perisic like he did today. He played as the left-sided midfielder rather than the left wing back when they played in the 4-4-2. So I think it definitely gives it options, and it'd be nice if we can get 2 more in. I think if we're lucky, we get 1 in. And I think if we get 1 in, I think they will reassess in January. I think they'll look at it and they'll see where they are, and they'll see what happens after the World Cup. See if there's injuries, because obviously we could get injuries from the World Cup. And then if they need to bring in, they'll see if they can bring someone in then. But obviously in January, if you want to go for your top targets, it's always hard because those selling clubs don't want to sell their best players. So it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and this time of the year too, right? I mean, it's close to the end of the window, so
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a rush job, and tough to get some good players that way.
Are you looking forward to the season ahead, Rich?
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm in Nashville next week, so I'm trying to find a bar in Nashville to watch the game. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Definitely.
Oh, I hope you do manage to find a bar, and then you should maybe send some pictures in to us so we can have a look at what it's like in the Nashville bar where you go. But yeah, I want to say thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate the call. It was a really good call. Nice to chat to you. And hopefully we'll get you on again and see you soon.
Guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. That was a good call from Rich.
Yeah, that was a good call from Rich.
Yeah. I think, let's keep the guests coming on. Let's keep him going. Let's get the next one on. How are you, Hassan, man? Big up, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. I think we're a lot more happier than we thought it'd be, to be honest. Yeah, a lot more relieved, mate.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Yeah, how are you feeling? I mean, we just robbed Chelsea, so...
Yeah, that was a roller coaster, I think.
That's a good way to explain it, man. Roller coaster.
Majority of that game, I was just hiding behind my pillow, hoping we didn't concede or Chelsea didn't make an attack, and then for us to somehow draw, I think. I think it showed. I think a lot of people are going to be reactionary, as most of our fan base usually is. After we dominated Southampton, everyone was going, we're going to finish third, blah blah blah, and then after this performance, people are going to start saying, we're poor and stuff like that. But I think the main thing to take out of this is that one, Chelsea shouldn't be underestimated, and two, that there has been a clear mentality shift within our team since Conte's come. Last minute winners, whether it's Man City, Watford, now Chelsea, Leicester. It happens quite a lot now. So there's obviously we'd like it to be a bit less like that, but it shows that we don't give up. And I think if this happened last year before Conte, I think after going 2-1 up, we would have just been deflated. No one would have kept trying. So I think that's the one positive I can take out of this.
Yeah. What do you think, Marlon?
No, like as everyone's been saying, you take scoring that second goal was so important, and actually the fact we still were going for it instead of just accepting a 2-1 loss just proves a lot. And like you said, it does prove a lot, because actually now we're at a stage where we're not just going to roll over and die. We are actually going to try and go out and pick points up here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah. I think.
Go on, Hassan.
No, I think you're right. I think people expected us to just sort of be like, okay, it's 2-1 now. Let's just give up, sit down, and take the loss. But the fact that we kept going, kept trying to create chances, I think it shows a good step forward.
If it was a 2-1 loss, would you have still been quite positive for the season?
Look, I think there's always going to be a hint of we're poor, we're doing this, blah blah. But look, I think I never underestimated Chelsea. I even said I've said several times that just because they've had this ownership change, it doesn't mean a lot. They're still going to be a good team, and you showed today that they were the better team. They played better. We couldn't get a control of the game, and I think it will be tied between us and Chelsea, depending on how other competitions go with all the different cups and UCL football. We'll see how the squads handle, but yeah, I think it's still a positive outlook. I think we're still going to be better than we were last season. The squad's bigger. We've got a full preseason, so yeah, I think it's still positive.
And after seeing today's game, Conte wanted to close the gap on Chelsea. Do you think we've closed the gap on Chelsea as in quality of players we've now got?
Are
we a lot closer to Chelsea than we were probably this time last season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look at the last time we played Chelsea, I know a few of our players were injured, but we had Winks in the midfield, and now he's not even on the bench, and now we're bringing on Basuma, Richarlison. Langley wasn't there, but he's also the option. Perisic came on as well.
Yeah.
So and Richarlison and Perisic changed the game. I really think when we went into that 4-4-2, and it changed how we were playing, and we got that goal from it. So yeah, it's a lot better to have those kind of players coming on. Even someone who was a guaranteed starter last season, Lucas Moura, before Kulusevski came on, he was always starting. To have him also coming off the bench now as well, that's the progression we have to be. First team starters now have to move to the bench for the better players to come on. It's just a continuous cycle where you build that big squad.
Yeah, I think so, and I think what's good is the fact that we still haven't got like the likes of Spence integrated into the team yet. We still haven't got the likes of Longley integrated. So we could see. I'm of the opinion of that. I believe Longley will take that left centre back spot in time.
Yeah, he definitely will.
I think once he gets his fitness up and he gets over this injury and he starts getting into the mould of what Conte wants him to do, I think he's going to be a better player than Ben Davies. Especially going forward as well.
I think Ben Davies did amazing last season. I'm not going to knock him down for that.
No, I agree with you. I agree with that. Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of, I wouldn't say recency bias, but people are looking at his times at Barcelona and just say, okay, he's poor. He's going to be poor here. I think people don't look at the back context where, the reason Barcelona bought him was because he was doing well at Sevilla. And at Sevilla, he was playing in a back three.
Yeah.
And, all those things come together. Now he's playing under Conte, who excels in a back three. And I think as the season goes along, we'll see how good of a ball-playing centre-back he is. And in a back three, he'll be more protected defensively, so those frailties won't be as shown. So I think, a lot of the new signings have to start. I think Perisic has to start. Basuma has to start. Longley should start.
Yeah.
I don't know when Spence will get a shoe-in. But I think even then we saw that Emerson wasn't good enough for this game. So Doherty has to come in for him as well.
So you said Basuma has to start. Whose position is he taking in that middle?
That's the problem. I want it to be Højbjerg's, but for some reason Conte doesn't.
Yeah.
It's Basuma or Bentancur partnered with Højbjerg.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like it's going to be.
And I understand the thinking behind it, because Basuma and Bentancur are both players who, once they win the ball, they sort of try and start attacks. Højbjerg's sort of the guy who just puts in a tackle and passes it off. That's his job. Tackle, pass off. Tackle, pass off.
Do you think it's because he sees a bit of himself in Højbjerg? Conte sees a bit of himself, because Conte was a very similar player to how Højbjerg plays.
I mean, maybe. I guess. Well, I mean, we're never going to know for sure. But as much as I think Højbjerg, obviously he scored that goal today. But other than that, I don't think he added too much.
No, I agree.
But did Bentancur? That's the other question. So,
he didn't, but I think he did more than Højbjerg, and that's the thing. I think he will consistently do more than Højbjerg. Yeah. I think Højbjerg sometimes will have these amazing games where you're like, oh my god, look at him, but then he just goes. I think Bentancur is a bit more consistent, and I want to see Basuma next to him, because I think Basuma is a lot better defensively than Bentancur, and I think that can allow Bentancur to push up a bit more, where he can actually start feeding passes, because that game, I think the main reason we were so outplayed in that game was because the midfield, they were just too static.
Spot on.
I think
we said the same
they were
thing.
just in a block. They were just in a block, moving this way, moving that way. So you could always mark them. And I think if Basuma partners Bentancur, it can be Basuma there, Bentancur a bit higher, then Harry Kane can drop in whenever he wants, and then you can overrun that midfield, and then you can create a lot more chances. So look, we're all asking for Bentancur Basuma. It seems it's Bentancur Højbjerg, Basuma Højbjerg. But I guess maybe it'll change going down the line.
Do you think? I think there will be an element of rotation between all four of them, especially when Skip comes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because I think
of course,
he doesn't know who his two best two are, but I think he likes something in all of them, and I think that's why he's going to rotate them depending on who we play, who's fit, and all this kind of stuff.
No, I agree with that statement.
From today, Hassan, what was the thing you liked the most about our performance today? Because obviously we didn't play that great, but everyone's kind of had the same kind of they've said the same kind of thing. But what's your take on it? How do you think? What was the thing you enjoyed the most out of it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing that most people say. Is the fact that we didn't just roll over.
Yeah.
There's that fire that is inside Conte, is inside most of our players now, and especially the type of players we got. You got Romero, Richarlison. They're all these fiery kind of players who like to get in, the other team's faces, and teams often, or good teams often reflect their managers. The way the managers act, the players, it rubs off on the players, and you're starting to see that with Conte. Everyone wants to have a go. Everyone's pushing till the end. And I think that's the main positive, because you're not going to play amazing football 38 games in the Premier League, right? That's just not going to happen unless you're Man City. You're not going to play that type of football. There are going to be games where you're outplayed, where you're going to play poorly, but it's the good teams or the better teams that can somehow get a point, even when they're playing badly. And I think that's what we really lacked in previous seasons, where we'd play atrociously and we'd just be like, okay, 2-1 loss, 2-0 loss. But the fact that even when we're bad, we've picked up this point, it means a lot in the dying stages, because this season the Premier League is going to be really tight. I think Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea are going to be right at it for that third and fourth spot.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. To be honest.
Agree there.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, I think the same. I think Arsenal they're gonna be very good this season if they keep injury clear. I think they look good so far.
If they do exactly what they did last year and win the games they're supposed to, because that's all they did last year. They won the games they were supposed to. And that's why they were getting top four. And it was only the slip up at the end, because Newcastle were changed, that we even got a look in. So it's a case of Arsenal doing exactly the same. It will be interesting in a few weeks when Arsenal do get someone who's quite tough to see where they are as a club.
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else you want to add for how you're feeling about today, mate, and going forward for the season?
I think just in general for us fans, I think we just gotta just remain calm. Right? I think a lot of people,
that's true.
Jump the gun. I think they saw the transfer window, they saw the things change, and they immediately propelled us this stage up. And I think, whether Conte stays in the future, whether he doesn't, and I know people are gonna not like the word, but it is a process, and it's the first time where I think we felt that it's actually, because we've always said, okay, after Pochettino's go, we got to rebuild. Right, when Mourinho came in, that took no shape whatsoever. But now you start to see the club listening to him, the club's moving on players, quickly. We're getting transfers in quickly. We're getting players that Conte specifically wants for his system. And it's going to take time. We're not going to suddenly, be better than Chelsea, challenge with Liverpool and City. It's going to take time. Like you said, last season, had Arsenal not, messed up against Newcastle, we wouldn't be in the Champions League. So it's just about building up, and there's going to be games where we'll look poor, there's going to be games where we'll lose, but at the end of the day, it's improvement over last season, and we just got to stay strong to that, and trust in Conte that he can improve this club.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think that's absolutely spot on, man. And I think I want to say, thank you for that, man, because you definitely give me a bit more positivity for the season. So,
But I'm not going to remain calm, though. I'm a football fan.
We're a Tottenham fan. We can't be calm. That's the problem. We can never be calm. They make our blood pressure go up through the roof, and then it comes back down again. But
it should come with a health warning.
Yes, it should. Yeah, it should. I think you should sign a disclosure, mate, when you sign up for supporting Spurs. But look, we love it, and that's why we love our club. So, yeah, thank you very much for coming on, Hassan. It's really good to speak to you again, as always, and I hope to speak to you again soon.
Exactly, you too. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Take it easy, man. Yeah, that was a great call from Hassan. And before we get to our next guest, there is a super chat I want to just get to. It was from Bulky Basha. He was saying, typical, we have had one bad game and suddenly everyone thinks all our players are shite. Just a week ago, best team in Premier League. We will learn and recover. Yeah, I think there is an element of people. I mean, what would you? How would you?
If you go and talk to everyone so far, I don't think that's really come across. No. I think we've seen the frailties of some of the players we did want to go, but I think there's been a lot of positives to go. Actually, the fact we can bring off players off the bench is probably the biggest thing for us right now.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of Dyer and Davis is always going to be the vein and arguments of what we've done. So it doesn't matter what performances they put in; they're always going to be the subject of everything because they're the two that we all want replaced. But as for everyone else, Kane had a bad game, but he's not a bad player. Kulu wasn't in the game, but we know how good Kulu can be.
Yeah.
But like Benson, Core and Højbjerg again wasn't great today. But again, if we all asked most of us, they'll be in our starting lineup next week. So
it's true.
We knew it was a one-off, but I think we're just looking at the players we have bought and gone, they've come on and changed the game,
and that's
which is the best. It's so key. It's so key, and that's why I've probably got a smile on my face more than usual because I can't remember if we drew 2-2 and it was like, oh crap, here we go. But it's actually seeing what has come on and changed that game. So it's not the players crap. It's just more they've got to play better.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's an element of, I know a few of us have said, including myself, we've said about how Dyer in certain situations in that game, he could have done better positionally, and maybe being more of a leader in certain circumstances during that game where maybe we could have avoided one of the goals. But as an overall, he had an all right game. I wouldn't say he had an amazing game. He had a decent game.
If you look at his performance this week to last week, you probably go, last week he was good. But then it was against Southampton.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not the games we're judging Dyer in because we know he can play well in those.
Exactly.
It's when we do play the Chelseas, the Uniteds, because last year at United, he's, again, defensive problems. I know it's Ronaldo, but he allowed Ronaldo to do what he did to him. Yeah, and all that space. And he gave him too much respect.
Yeah.
And not many players did that last year for Ronaldo. He scored goals, but he got a hat-trick against us.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were so disappointed because actually we didn't in the second half we played really well, but it's the mistakes that Dyer does make in the big games where we go, here we go again, and that's where we do need a top quality centre back. And Romero we know is top quality, and we was all surprised when Sanchez came in and done the job last year.
He did.
But again, Davis and Dyer were also good in those run-of-free games, but it's when the going gets tough and we are playing those strong teams in the Champions League. He's not going to get what he does in the Premier League. They will punish him even more.
100%. And that's where I think it's going to be interesting for Conte and the club to see where our level is in the Champions League. Because if those players do get exposed, then he's going to see what some of us maybe see. I think he does see it already because I don't want Dyer. Dyer gone. I think he's a good.
No, he's a good. Yeah, he's a great player. But
I just think we need competition for him.
And
better than Sanchez.
Oh, and this is the thing. The reason why I'm not having a go at Sanchez is because Sanchez is not starting for us. And there's the difference.
Yeah,
and
true.
Let's be honest. Dyer played against Middlesbrough last year, and he played against Mora, and he was centre back against Mora, and he was poor. Right? And you're thinking everyone was going, Europa Conference League is not our level, but some of the players that we've got playing were playing in that game. So you can't sit there and say it's not because unfortunately it was. And they were getting it's Dyer and I like Davis. I thought I've got no problem with Davis. It's more Dyer's my main issue because of the position he's playing. But if he's coming on as sub, I've got no problem. Because I think he's good enough to be in the squad. Starting in a top 3 side, you have to ask yourself questions.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd be interested to see what our next guest has to say. So let's bring him on then. How you doing, man? Is it Smithy? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Simte.
Simte. Simte. That's cool, man. How you doing, Simte? How you feeling about today, man? How are you, bro?
I'm good in yourself, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. we're a lot better considering the last seconds of the game. We weren't sitting here. We're talking to everyone, really getting angry, depressed, and saying, "Oh, we've done it again." The same old Spurs. Everyone's sitting here in a completely different tune, and everyone's like, "Well, look at the mentality now, and look at the way the game's ended." I think it's great. I wanna kind of delve into your thoughts and opinions and how you feel, man.
Yeah, man. First half, we were bad. We were bad this whole game. We were bad because I thought we could be battling with midfield between Kante and what's his name and Jorginho versus Bentancur and Obier, and we were far away from their level. That was scary. I was like, okay, now we're already losing the midfield battle from last season again. There's no difference.
I agree, completely
agree. But then we started growing into the game, especially once we went to the 4-4-2, but still we had holes within that, especially at the back. Because we know the moment that we have Romero and Dyer in a back four, that's a disaster because there's no one else helping them out.
Yeah.
There's no one else because both of them are like, what is it? Loose cannons in a back four. They don't know who. They don't know what to do actually. You see, they don't know what to do. But then, I'm just happy about the mentality that when James scored the second goal, we just went on. We went on. We didn't give up. We didn't throw our toys and be like, we're gonna lose this game and stuff like that. Because I thought we deserved to lose. Definitely, we deserved to lose. If Chelsea had a proper striker, we could have lost probably 3-4 because Sterling missed a great chance. Kai missed a chance. The blocks saved us. Hobie's blocks, Kulu blocking. We could have lost. We could have scored a few because Ryan Sessegnon missed, Kane missed, Son missed. We could have had a few. Could have been like maybe 5-3, something like that. The score could have been huge numbers. But we're still far away from Chelsea. Guys, because they are, what do you call this? They are players. They are above our level, especially in midfield. I was like, okay, Bentancur, Hobie. Hopefully you can fight off Kante and Jorginho, but I could see we're not there yet. Do
you still think we're that far from Chelsea, or do you think we've closed the gap slightly?
We have closed the gap slightly, but then I think we need like a proper midfielder. Maybe a Milinkovic-Savic could do the trick in midfield. We could be like, okay, then we've got someone who's going to be able to marshal up the midfield for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see when Basuma starts coming into it, because I think he's exactly what I've been calling for Basuma to come to Spurs for the last 2-3 years now, and ever since I saw him play, and I've loved everything about his game, and I think I think Conte can take him to the next level. I think like what he's done with, you see what Conte's done with Davis and Dyer, how he's improved them a lot, given them the belief. He's made them tactically more aware, and they're definitely an improvement from what we saw under Nuno, under Jose. And I think someone like Basuma, if he can do that with Basuma, I think we're going to get one hell of a player.
Yeah. The only thing that I want for Basuma, let's not rush him. Let's let him come in slowly, because the moment we rush him, people are going to be like, we just signed a flop if everything are not going well for him. Let's let him come in slowly. Let's not just throw him into the fire and just say, Basuma, go play. We have our midfield is okay. Hobie and Bentancur, they're okay. Let's not change something that's not broken. Let's just stick to those two for now, and then once Skip comes in, then you're gonna put Skip and what's his name, and Basuma together once you wanna rotate and stuff like that. Let's not rush Basuma. That's what I'm just asking as us as fan base. From the fan base, let's just let Basuma come in slowly. Then that's when you're gonna know. We're gonna see what we have bought, how it is, and everything.
Yeah. So after today, you'd still stick with Bentancur and Højbjerg for next week against Wolves.
Yes. I'm still sticking with that.
I think Conte will as well.
I got a feeling he will.
I think it's gonna. I think he'll only change one of them two if there was an injury, or if when we start playing 3 games a week. I think that's when he's going to start rotating. And I think until then he's going to try and keep it as similar as possible, just for kind of consistency. I think. And yeah, because obviously there is going to be a time where we're going to need to rotate players.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I don't think that starts happening until September. So we've got another couple of weeks until we're going to have to start. He's going to have to start looking at maybe changing a couple of players here and there for each game. But until then, I'll probably agree with you to that point. I think I would love to. I would love to see Basuma, but I do agree that he needs to ease him in. I know Marlon was saying it earlier as well. We were discussing it that he should ease some of these players in, and it's like Perisic as well. Everyone wants to see Perisic start. Everyone, Perisic by far is the best wing back we've got in our squad, and I think I think he'll play as soon as Conte feels that he's ready to start.
Yeah, well, for me, I think it's more. I don't know what you think about this, but is it more of a case of it's nice to bring on someone like Perisic who's got that quality, who can change a game like today?
Yeah. But then I also think next weekend Perisic has to start. He has to start.
You're not listening to us.
No, the thing is, Ryan Sessegnon struggled today. He struggled. He did. And when Perisic came on, he showed his class. He deserves to start because of what he showed up against Chelsea. We can't be like, Perisic, sit down again. We're going to get you on second half. We have to get him there fast into the starting lineup. He deserves to be in the starting lineup.
I like your complete difference. Your switch, Your switch in between,
Super.
like, Perisic, get him on the pitch right now, get him on. But Basuma, no,
easy, man.
Keep it cool for a bit. I think that shows the level of class of the players, right? And how your belief in Perisic and how...
the midfield is probably, if we're being completely honest, our second strongest area. And, Basuma doesn't need to be rushed. But, the left, I can see what everyone's saying about the left side, but when we play, let's be honest, the not great teams like Southampton stuff, Cesc can play. We don't need Perisic for them games. Perisic is not a young man, and actually being able to bring him on, not like today where Cesc is getting no change, is brilliant. Because if it's the other way around where Perisic is not having the best of games, who'd you bring on?
Yeah, I hear you, but then let's not underestimate these small teams. This is the Premier League, guys. We can't be losing points in small teams. If you want to be there at the top, we play the best. Whether they old, they what, you just need to play the best, because one slip up, we're already going to be Spursies again.
Yeah, no,
can't be Spursies this season.
Agree. I just personally think everyone's on Sessegnon's back, and I didn't expect him to play well today. It's Chelsea when it's a top quality side, and Cesc is probably more better against the mediocre teams. That's where Cesc will come into his own. But I agree. If we're playing Man United next week, I'd want Perisic. If we're playing maybe a Fulham, I wouldn't mind Cesc playing. It wouldn't bother me.
Simte, what do you think about the other side of the pitch, on the right-hand side, where Emerson played today? What did you think of his performance today? Because obviously Perisic is... You can see that Perisic is someone we all want to start, but ideally we want someone who's going to be just as effective on the right-hand side. And I want to get your thoughts on how Emerson did and what you would do for the next game.
Oh, Emerson was attacking-wise bad. Bad today. He was bad. When Emerson had a great game against Southampton, he then has one of the shocking games of his life against Chelsea. I'm like, can't you be consistent? Can't you be consistent? We always praise you the next game. The next time you do stuff wrong. What? I don't know. I think because I don't trust Mac Doherty. I'm like, I would like him to start against Wolves, but I'd like to throw in, what's his name, this young kid, Spence in against Wolves, just to see what's happening on his side, because we know how Doherty plays, we know how Emerson plays. Let's just give Spence a chance and see just what happens, because that right-hand side, it's full of inconsistency.
I personally don't think we'll see Spence till Cups. I think that's when he's got to shine, and if he doesn't shine in that, I think that's it. He's going to stick with Doherty and Royale. And I personally think that it's going to be Lucas Moura ahead of them eventually at some point in the season.
He brought Lucas Moura on today as the right wing back. He didn't bring on Spence.
Yeah, I don't know about the Lucas thing at right wing back. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
Me personally, I agree with you, man.
It's not a right.
Yeah, I agree.
But, you know,
it's not
Conte
really
is...
proper. I don't know, because we keep on shifting, changing. Lucas Moura is a winger. Let's play him as a winger, not right wing back, because we don't know how he is defensively and everything. And he's not the best crosser. I don't know why you're playing him that side.
But then if you look at what Conte's done in the past, like with, you know, Moses and Perisic, they weren't the best, you know, Perisic more, he can cross, but they're not the best crossers. He just wants attacking wing backs so they can push up and play against the man. So, you know, he's come out and said he's thinking about Lucas in that position. So would you not take it, or would you like consider just Doherty or Royale in front of him?
Even those options are bad in front of him. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I can't give you better options.
That's all we got, mate.
I'd prefer a new right wing back. If we were living in a delusional world, I'd prefer Hakimi. But I call in Hakimi. Hakimi, please. Yeah, that's what we need. We just need an Hakimi, and then all our problems are solved.
I agree. I think Hakimi would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's been saying this for weeks.
I've been saying, I think there's a few people who've been saying Hakimi, but I know it's going to be difficult to get someone like him in. Maybe next season we could hope for him, we could dream for him, but I doubt it very much.
Yeah, true. But we don't know, because right wing backs are scarce or something. They are scarce right wing backs. Proper right wing back.
Yeah, because when everyone talks about Hakimi. Yeah, everyone talks about Hakimi, but when you go, who else besides Hakimi, no one can really give you any more options. So they are scarce, and you know, sometimes you might have to turn a winger into a right wing back.
Yeah. But it was a great game. Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, go on. Sorry. Go for it.
No, I just wanted to say that it was a great game, because I'm hearing that I've got a few Chelsea fans that are moping about decisions and everything.
Repeat that again. Moping.
Especially on the tackle that Bentancur did on what's his name? On Harvard.
On Harvard.
That's a fair tackle. That's a fair tackle.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It is. So you can't even complain. They probably could complain about more other tackles, but that one, you look at it, because I said first time to you that he got the ball first.
Yeah.
It should. Yeah, I know there's a follow through, but it's not like he's followed through aggressively. He's won the ball.
You can see the ball direction change as soon as his toe touches the ball and moves away.
At the end of the day, if that's a foul, then you can't really tackle in football no more.
Yeah, exactly. It's true though. I think while you've got the chance, you should give it to all the Chelsea fans you can, mate. Just tell them how much they got robbed today.
Yeah.
They did get robbed. Exactly. Especially the Cucurella situation with Romero, him pulling Cucurella.
We thought we weren't going to get away with that.
I don't know how Anthony Taylor missed that. And VAR was checking it, and I thought if VAR was checking it, couldn't it be like a foul of a situation, because
definitely.
It. But I was confused of how that situation worked. I don't know if you can clarify for me. Maybe I'm the one who's not knowing the rules of how VAR should work. Because in my mind I thought, okay, VAR can't really interfere, but then they stopped it. I'm like, I don't know what just happened there. I was so confused.
Do you know what I think, Simte? I think the guy in the VAR room didn't like Cucurella's hairstyle. He was jealous. So when he saw Romero put his hair down, he was like, yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. No problems of that. Romero's absolutely fine. And I think that's why we got away with it. But it was brilliant. It was beautiful to see Romero get away with that, because that was clearly a foul. Yeah. But somehow they didn't get it against us. So and then leading to that, we got the goal from the corner. Yeah. So it was happy days for us.
But the goal.
Exactly. I just want to say, big up to you, man, and really appreciate you coming on. It was a great call. And I hope to see you next time
guys.
as well. No, thank
problem.
you.
Well done.
Take care, man, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I think we should get the next guy. I haven't seen him before. I don't recognise his face.
No, nor do I.
Isn't it a goat? I think there's a goat coming on.
Yeah.
We've got a goat coming. Oh, look who it is! Oh, here he is. How you doing, my brother?
Big up, lads. Big up. Before we get into it, I just want to say big up to you two because amazing job today. Watch along.
No problem, man.
Incredible, guys. Well done to you guys.
It's been enjoyable.
No, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it a lot. But
Marlon's debut, no? Marlon's debut.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He's enjoyed it a lot.
Hopefully I can come back on.
100%. We'll invite you on now next month.
Yeah. I passed the test.
Well, you got him now. He's good luck. We've got a draw. I've got a point at the bridge. So and 2 goals.
Yeah. Not that luck.
guys. Today was daylight robbery, guys. At the bridge, daylight robbery.
It was amazing.
How many times have we played like that at Stamford Bridge and come away with a demoralising defeat? You know what I mean? Year after year, we put in these performances at Stamford Bridge, but now we have Conte. We've got the will to fight until the end. We've got the shithousery in the team with Richarlison and Cuti Romero as well. I mean, look, I'm upset with the performance today, but you can't really stay upset when you get a result like that at Stamford Bridge when you perform like that, can you?
No, definitely not. That's what we were saying. We were saying, Ben, that like if that was like you said, if you like 2 years ago or last year, we would have lost that game. The heads would have gone down. They wouldn't have got back into it. And today it was that desire to just keep going, no matter how bad we were playing. And I think
absolutely.
I think what was the most amazing thing about today was the fact that the players that actually came on the pitch, all 3 of them, in Perisic, Bissouma, and Richarlison, they all made a massive difference, and I think that helped to get the point. And I think I think you were saying it as well, Marlon. Like, Richarlison's energy, you saw the team start pressing a lot more from the front when he came on, and I think that was there was a lot more pressure. You could see it on the Chelsea players; they felt more pressure in their own half, and I think that was key to us getting a point. And I said to Marlon, if Conte had brought them on earlier, then maybe there could have been a chance for another sniff at another goal, even, or even a different result. But I think regardless of that, I think it was a brilliant point to come away with Stamford Bridge and 2 goals as well.
Especially when it's daylight robbery, you've just got to accept it and take it.
I mean, Ben, we heard, it was funny because we were saying when we were listening to it on Sky Sports through the game, all we could hear was a Tottenham fan singing, and we was like, oh, Ben and Sim must be absolutely loving it today, because the only time you heard the Chelsea fans was when they scored, and that was it. The whole rest of the time, it was silence.
There was like a period of when they went 2-1 up, and they kind of thought, actually, we're going to win this game. But it kind of then fell flat, and all you could hear was Spurs fans again.
So big up to you lot in the away.
Away fans. The Spurs away fans are always top class. I mean, they put on a show today for everyone. I think that it was amazing. It was amazing to be there, amazing to be back at the bridge and take something from the game. But look, what I want to say is that you've got to agree, not hopefully, but you've got to agree that Tuchel did a number on Conte today tactically, because I think he won that tactical battle today. It was like a game of chess really at times today. And when Conte changed the tactics, we went 4-4-2 in the second half. You saw Spurs get the upper hand a little bit, but then as soon as Tuchel changed it back, the pendulum swung all the way back. And we were only on top for like 5-10 minutes of the game today, weren't we?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I think the first 5 minutes of the game we were better than Chelsea.
Yeah, we started off well.
Then they dominated, and then there was that period when we changed the formation where we started getting on top again for about 10 minutes or so. And then Chelsea again, he changed the tactics, and then they scored the goal. And then obviously you just saw Tuchel running down the touchline past Conte, and then the best thing is Conte's reaction after when we got that second goal. It was just glorious. I want to ask you, Ben, what was your opinion? How did you see it? Because you obviously couldn't have seen what we saw on the TVs at the time. So have you had a chance to look back of what happened with Conte and Tuchel?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the highlights now, and I've seen that Conte goes up to him to shake his hand, and then Tuchel was like getting arsey because he wasn't looking in his eyes or something, and then didn't let go of his hand. I was like, come on, man. Why is Conte getting sent off for that?
Innit? Yeah. And they both get sent off, which is it's a bit annoying because they're not going to be in the dugout. But like for the next game, but Daigle was saying Conte's so loud, all the players are probably hearing from the stands, so it'll be fine.
Absolutely. No, it will be. I'm not too worried. I mean, Also, when you look at it, right, last season, when you look at the first 2 games of this season, Southampton at home we lost last year, Chelsea away we lost last year, Wolves at home as well coming up we lost last year.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't. Football isn't as simplistic as this, but we're already 4 points better off than last season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
No, I said that. Yeah, when obviously we did lose to Southampton last year, and that's how I see games, like especially with everyone else around us. I got to look at Arsenal as well. Their first 2 games, they are 3 points better off because they lost to Palace last year. So we've got to just stay ahead of the game, and if we can get as maximum points out of these next 3, we're good to go. And definitely stepping in the right direction.
No, absolutely. And I think that you saw the passion from the team at the end. I mean, how much of a difference is it bringing on, like you said, those players from the bench, Richarlison, Bissouma, Perisic?
Oh.
For you guys, do you think we stay with the same 11 for the next game?
Yeah, we were discussing
we're discussing that.
I think for me, if there's one player I'd want to see start, it's got to be Perisic. It has to be. If
he's poor today.
He was poor today, in my opinion. I think and also the chance that he had, where I think it was Dyer who put in that beautiful long ball, and he was literally one-on-one with the keeper, and he took too long to hit the ball, and then he got too close to the keeper, and then he took his shot. He released to take a shot, and then it was never going to happen. And when he got into the box, as soon as he got into the box, he should have released that and just smashed it across goal, and it would have been a better opportunity. But I think if you put Perisic in that position, he's more likely to score than not because he's so good. And I think it's got to be Perisic for me. I mean, I think like Simte was saying the call before, Bissouma, we can ease into it, and I think you could say rightly so.
I'd prefer him to start, if I'm being honest.
Bissouma.
Yeah, after what I saw today, especially there was a bit where it was 2-1, and I can't remember who goes past, but Bissouma's there right behind, and that's he's a bit more clever defensively, and I just think that's what we kind of need, and I think. He's a Premier League player, and we're at home. He probably needs a game like next week against Wolves, where he can settle in and see, and that kind of thing. So I'd rather him. Like with Cess, I'm willing to give him another week. It's not against. I didn't expect anything from Cess today, and it's when Cess does play against top quality teams, he's not going to play well. But I like the fact we could bring Perisic on. And that was the difference, because if Perisic is going against a Reece James and a Ruben Loftus-Cheek at full fitness, does he have the same impact? That's my only question. But a lot of people probably say he probably would. But I personally think at the moment he's still got to get used to the pace of the Premier League, and that's where I'd probably still just keep him to come on and things like that.
Yeah, I completely get that. And look at those 2 corners he put in at the end. Perisic, I mean,
fucking beautiful.
Everyone's talking about set piece takers. Who's going to be our set piece taker? I mean, there you have it. Those corners are unbelievable, man.
Yeah, they were. He's already got an assist already now.
Yeah.
I mean, they were brilliant. And I think there's a lot more to come from him. And I wanted to ask you, Ben, actually, we're based on the performance today, right? Now, I know we've asked quite a few of the guests who've come on about the transfer window, and obviously we've got a couple weeks left. Now, there's obviously talk that we still want a creative mid and a centre-back, and looks like maybe a central centre-back. Now, do you think, first of all, do you think we're going to get anyone else in? And secondly, if we do get someone in, do you think we'll get both, or do you think we'll get one? And then if we were to get one, which one would you prefer to get?
I think for me, the defender is more needed in the squad right now. I think we need competition for Eric Dyer desperately, because when you're looking on the right, you've got Sanchez to back up Romero. Yeah, fine. People have their thoughts about Sanchez, but as a backup, I don't think he's bad.
Yeah, I agree.
On the left-hand side, we got Longley, so we just need someone to back up Eric Dyer in the centre. And I quite like the idea of that Dynamo Kiev centre-back, Zabiani, because he's young, he's got a big ceiling, very high ceiling, and if he can come in and get used to the Premier League straight away, I think he'd be a brilliant player to have. In terms of the attacking midfielder, I mean, I've got mixed feelings on it, because you can't bring in a natural number 10. You can't bring in a James Maddison, in my opinion, because
that's what I said.
You just can't bring it, because he doesn't fit into Conte's system, and he's just not going to play enough games, not going to get enough minutes. You have to bring in someone like a Zaniolo who can make competition for Kulusevski and also play a bit deeper when needed. So that's what I would want. like a Zaniolo, someone that can play competition for Kulusevski. But I don't see any point bringing in number 10, to be honest. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, Ben, I love Maddison as a player. I think he's a great player. He offers set pieces, long range shots. He's got everything. But I think, like you said, in a Conte system, the way he plays, I think Zani so far, and I think he can offer a lot more versatility than what Maddison can. Yeah. And he obviously is left-footed. He can play. He's of the midfield. So I think for me, it'd obviously be the cheaper option as well. I think if it were going to get anyone, it would be him. And I think, I think I agree with you. We do need a central centre-back. I'd be quite disappointed if we didn't get a central centre-back, in my honest opinion.
Yeah. Especially as Rodon's gone, Tanganga. If Tanganga goes, there's there's no way we can't bring one in. Yeah. There's no way we can can't bring one in.
I mean, from today, Ben, what's the thing you take away the most from today's performance?
What Jose Mourinho was saying in the documentary. Be cunts, intelligent cunts. So there you have it. You know what I mean?
Come on, Ben.
That's what I love about this team, because we were poor. We were really poor today. Like really poor.
We were.
From literally goalkeeper to striker. I don't think anyone had a particularly good game today. Literally anyone. And when you can keep coming back like that at a ground like Stamford Bridge, it doesn't. It takes a bit off like the need to perform like that every game. So. How many times have we scored last-minute goals now since Conte has come as well? Away game out of the way as well, so I think happy days, really.
Yeah, it's good. And talking about away days, I completely agree. And I think what's good is between now and the World Cup break, we're going to play pretty much every hard team in the top half before that break, apart from Liverpool, I think it is.
Apart from Liverpool.
And that's it. So we're going to get all of them out of the way quite early, which is going to be quite nice. So we're going to have the second half of the season to really push.
Hopefully,
hopefully we can.
And we're winning at Anfield this year, by the way. We're winning at Anfield this year.
I fucking hope we are. Ben.
we owe them one for the last couple of times up there.
Mate,
man,
we do. Yeah. We've got closer and closer each time, and we're just that close now. And I think the Conte factor, after what happened last season, I think this season's going to be it could be a magical one there.
Yeah, hopefully.
I really hope so.
No, but you're spot on. If we can stay in and around it by the World Cup, then we got a chance this season. We really do, definitely. Because we're going to have all our hard games out of the way, apart from that one game.
Yeah, I think it's exciting times ahead, my brother. It's exciting times ahead.
Well, big up.
Big up, man.
That's it from me, Marlon, Danny. Big up to you two guys
and Daniels. And yeah, let's get before actually we get our next guest on. There was two super chats. There was a membership one and a super chat. So the membership for members for 7 months for gold membership, and that's my good friend Mr. Barry Nick Ranjit and whatever else you want to call him. He said Tottenham of old would have crumbled. We didn't, and love that Conte showed the fight. COYS, come on, you Spurs. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Barry, man. I think Conte was showing today the passion, and I think you could see in the players today as well.
Yeah.
That his passion is seeping through to them.
And that's the big key thing right now, actually, is that it is seeping through to them. And as quite a few of the guests have said, just seeing that the players are going to start running through brick walls for this guy, for this manager. They don't even care that he's only here for the end of the year at the moment on paper, but they are going to do it for him. So, and it was just seeing the celebrations at the end, just to know, not just from Conte and the players, they're in it together, and he's got a team spirit going about him, and even the new players integrated. They're all on the same page, which is very, very important right now.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more with that. There was a super chat from Liran Braun, but you didn't put any comments in there, Liran, mate. So if you want to chuck a comment in the comment section, I'll read it out for you, bro, if you want to do that. But I want to say big up for the super chat and thank you very much for the support for the boys. And yeah, let's get on our next guest then. Hello, Sai. How are you doing, mate? How are you, bro?
Oh, hello. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good to meet you, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing really good. It's nice to come off an absolutely shocking performance and actually get a point at the bridge.
Yeah. So like, all right. So I'm newer to this, right? I'm not like, I haven't been watching since I was a kid or anything like that, right? The reason I started supporting this team is because underdogs. All right, this is the underdogs. These are the underdogs. I looked up and down, and I'm like, I refuse to go for the first place, the second place. And then I watched this team slowly, like, we're creeping, right? So I'm newer to this thing. And I'm going to be honest, today was stressful. It was
you're fully COYS now.
Yeah. Welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur fan club, my friend.
So like, I'm only literally 3.5 years into this, right?
Okay.
And one thing I saw today that was super duper important for me personally was we got pushed in by these guys 4 times last year. Yeah. Over and over and over again. So to get some sort of even 1 point is so much, because we finished 3 points behind them. That's the 3 points that they finished ahead of us, they took probably from us. So it's and this is a team that for some reason all the later portions of the last season, right? And throughout the summer and even last week, they were not playing well. Last week, they got a penalty win. Oh, whatever. They got the win off of a penalty, right? And somehow, some way, they turn into prime Brazil whenever they're playing us. And it makes no sense to me. And they did again today. They did it again today. So when I was watching this game, I realized all right, we Spurs went on a date with some girl named Chelsea. It was a terrible date, but somehow we ended up splitting the check. And that's perfectly fine with me.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, I love it. That's a brilliant analogy.
And I'm not going to complain about that at all, because it's when you go on a date and it's bad and you end up paying for it, you're like, oh man, that's but we split the check. And
brilliant.
It was weird, because the first 5 minutes I was watching, I'm like, oh, we're starting it strong. We're doing some good stuff here. And then out of nowhere, it was like Chelsea's defensive side of the pitch it was never on camera again for the first half. It just never was on camera again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
It just made me go wow, are we that far behind still? Are we that far behind, or are we just having a bad game? And we're talking about Cucurella, his hair got pulled. Dude, Lloris, that I'm surprised he didn't come out of that ball. That dude looks so stressed and in that first half. And honestly, hats off to him on I think he ended up getting a little bit of ball on that. I think it was that I forget who it was, where it went a little wide. I don't remember who it was, but he ended up.
The shot where Lloris saved it. You mean where it hit his?
Yeah.
That
And
was,
I was
Havertz. Yeah.
It was Havertz, and Havertz for some reason that guy just could not hit the back of the net.
He couldn't.
It was weird for him. And realistically, there were points where I was like, okay, these guys are going to be up 4-5, up against us, and somehow I just feel like nobody's talked about Lloris actually kind of did what he needed to do.
Yeah, he did.
And it was so I was like, this guy is so stressed. I could just see on his face that he was not having it that first half. And then the second half, a little worry for me that I saw even in last season was I felt like Conte makes his changes very late sometimes.
Yeah, Danny's
and
saying
it
the same
freaks
thing.
me out.
Yeah, and me too.
It freaks me out so much, because there was I think Perisic should have been on way on the half, he should have been coming up, personally speaking. And with Basuma, that's just something that we should realize. Basuma's hey, he's a solid defensive midfielder. Why isn't he coming on when clearly our midfielders are just losing it? But it's one of those things where Højbjerg could be having a bad game and then he'll end up having a really good play. And he just stays on. It's so weird with Højbjerg. He'll literally be having a completely bad game. That first half, I did not like him at all. But then he ends up scoring, and we're like, okay, well, I guess we got to keep him on now. Right?
Every Spurs fan was like that.
It was
saying the same thing.
It's so weird, because it's he he got the goal, but like when it comes to the actual midfield, like I really wanted more from him. I really wanted more. And then it's weird also because like Emerson does exactly what he's supposed to do in getting up and down the pitch, but he just cannot get these crosses in. And it's so detrimental to us. It is absolutely detrimental to us because defensively he's a great player and he's able to get past players to get up the pitch, but he just cannot get the crosses in. And it just makes no sense to me. And I'm like, you know what? Let's play Doherty. Let's see where it goes, right? Like, let's see where that goes because he had like a glimpse come up. But I think Conte just likes this guy. I don't know if it's his personality or what it is, or if it's just fact that like every once in a while he has like these really good games. But I need him to be more consistent with these games because we pulled away with 1 point. But like I wanted to come into this with going like, hey, we were 3 points behind these guys last season. We could. And there's so much hype, like, oh, you know what? They might be challenging for third. They might be challenging. Like, I don't want to like by the skin of my teeth get into 4th place. You know, I want it to be an emphatic 3rd place win. I want it like we're not catching up to Liverpool and Man City the way we played today. It just does not make sense to me. And I like Emerson, like the person. I like how he like is super. What do you call it about the team? He's like anytime there's a problem on the pitch, he's up there fighting for his teammates, right? But like I don't know what it is, but like we got to get him off the pitch. And it's like I feel like every single time we make these changes a little too late. And I don't know if it's because Conte's like, you know what, we could try to get the win, or if it's tied, he's just, you know, just play for the defensive plays. Like I don't know what's going through his mind. Clearly what was going through his mind all day was I got to kick Tuchel's ass. But yeah, like he's great defensively, but it's like it doesn't work when we really need to break a defense, you know? Like, and everybody was saying like, hey, Koulibaly is going to come in. Oh, he's an old man. Chelsea signed old man Koulibaly. Like, bro, he played brilliantly today.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, he did.
And the fact that no one's complained about Kulu's performance just summed up how well Koulibaly did play.
But that's exactly the point. You're so right about that. It's because like Kulu was completely shut down. There was nothing he could do. And it's like we know what he can do from last season. We know what he can do from just last week. But like Koulibaly played out of his mind for Chelsea, and we actually like we walked away somehow. Like I don't know. It's like you know when you walk out of a store and you're like, oh, I didn't pay for this. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh well, okay, I'm not gonna go back and pay for it, right? Like, and that's what happened today. We literally got points, and somehow, honestly, it was. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take them. Because honestly speaking, I kind of want a little bit more shithousery. I kind of want a little bit more of people getting in people's faces. And Richarlison came on and he started getting in faces and the ball started getting to the pitch. Then we're not even going to get to make any sort of chances. All of a sudden, Richarlison comes on and we're on the attack. I'm like, because our Richarlison, for whatever reason, is freaking these people out. The defensive line on Chelsea's side was getting freaked out by this guy.
You could see it, couldn't you, Si? You could see, like,
100%.
You could see as soon as he came into them, he was everywhere. He had energy. And like Marlon said, as soon as he changed that formation and he came on, it made the biggest difference.
Yeah, and I'm tired of being like the nice guys. Like, I love Son, I love Kane, but they are nice guys. You know what I mean? Like, I need the, like, we got to get mean. And honestly speaking, like, this is the guy. And I was sitting there looking like a buddy of mine was set up for a couple years to come.
Yeah.
Like, Richarlison's 25. Basuma's 25. Kulu's 22. Romero is what, 24 maybe, something like that.
Yeah, 24.
Right? So it's like, it's a solid, like, going forward. We clearly have, like, somehow built a team for now and for tomorrow. But at the same time, there's certain pockets. I know you've been asking everybody. I think we need like some sort of like center back, like some real.
Yeah, definitely.
Seems to be the common theme after today.
After today, like, we've been asking everyone, and like obviously there's talk about we still need a creative player, we still need the centre back. It seems that every single person pretty much has said we need another centre back this summer before we go, especially if Tanganga goes on loan somewhere. Because if he does, then they have to bring it. There's no question. It's a 100% they need to bring a centre back in. Even if he doesn't go, I think they still need another centre back. But ideally what we want is someone who can be that competition for Dyer. And from the noises that I've heard and other people have heard, it looks like they want to bring in a young centre back, because Dyer's like 27 going on 28, so they're not going to go and bring in another 27, 28-year-old who's like a, I don't know, like a Skriniar or De Vrij, or who's a bit older, who's going to cost, maybe Skriniar will cost you like 60 million pounds. A De Vrij might cost you 20 or 25 million. But I just can't see them bringing that type of defender in, because the way they've done it is they're looking to balance the squad in terms of have a player for a replacement for each position. And it seems what they want is one young one older one, so one experienced one. 100%. Dyer's the experienced 100%. One. And I think they want to bring in a really good young player for that central centre-back position. There's loads of names to be brand out. There's that guy that Ben was talking about. I can never pronounce his name. Zabrani or whatever his name is. There's also Max Kilman from Wolves. He's been linked. Yeah, I like Max Kilman a lot. I would love to see him at Spurs. I think he was brilliant last season. But there's a lot of options, and it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. I think, from what I can sense, is that they obviously don't have that trust in Tanganga because of his injuries, and also the way he plays. He's not really a ball-playing centre-back. He's not. He's even worse than Davinson Sanchez when it comes to his passing ability. And with the way Conte wants, he wants to be able to play at the back. Yeah. And I don't think Tanganga fits his system. I think Tanganga would fit someone like a Brighton or someone like a Wolves, maybe.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, have you got any idea of who you would like to bring in if you had a choice? I mean, realistically.
I mean, obviously, he's not. He's not young, and there are rumblings of him leaving. But like, I would love Skriniar. I know he's not young, but like, he would be. I think he would perfectly. Like, he is the guy. He's not worried about. He's the type of guy that's not worried about like, am I going to make my national team? He's going to get on that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. That's another problem that I feel like we're facing is like, okay, like people want Madison, and I'm like, okay, but this guy's playing to get on the national team, and he's not going to get that chance and a lot of these players are playing for that, so we have to consider those things too. And honestly speaking, I feel like when it comes to like a creative midfielder, can't like Kulu play that? Is that like Kulu can be that guy as well? If I'm not mistaken. Isn't his preferred position like Cam? So it's like, if we need to, we can have Kulu back there, have Richarlison take that place. You know, it's completely possible. And like, I think what we're like forgetting is like, we have the pieces, but we're not realizing that some of these pieces can also play in multiple different situations.
That's what Danny's been saying. It's the versatility of our forward line and some of the players we've brought in, which is kind of where we're going now. They're not set for one position like we've been used to. It's actually the fact is Richarlison can play anywhere across the front. You know, Kulu can move back. You know, Basuma can play in the middle and he can play further forward if need to, and vice versa like that. It's having them sort of players where you can change it, and like Conte did today when we went to 4-4-2. He wasn't doing that last season. And the fact he went and done it, it just says where we are as a club right now.
But do you know, also to add to that, do you know what the difference is? What he did today is the fact that when Conte actually, in the last game he played at the Bridge, where we lost, was it 1-0? I think it was, in the Premier League. I don't know, it was the League Cup after, wasn't it? But when we lost the Premier League, we had like Winks, and I think it was Højbjerg in the middle, or it might have been Skip. I can't. No, it was Højbjerg. And I think it was one of those games where he looked at his bench and he couldn't bring on anyone else. But whereas today, when he did switch it to the 4-4-2, he looked at his bench. He's like, right, Basuma, come on, Perisic, come on, and Richarlison, come on, and that completely, and Lucas Moura obviously came on, and that just changed the whole game. It completely changed the game, and I think that is what's going to be key this season, is that flexibility in order to do those kind of things, and I think that's what's exciting about the season ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's super important that we have options now. I mean, like, if you look at, like I said, Liverpool, you look at Man City, that's all they have is options. I think KDB's like, what was it? KDB's like the only person that played 30-plus games for City or something. Like, that just tells you that they have a person to fill every single spot if they need. And that's so important. And it's gonna get tough. Like it's not gonna be easy. Like people are forgetting. Like we also have Champions League. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's when other players are gonna get to shine.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
We have a lot of stuff. Honestly, we stole one. I'm not gonna lie, we did steal it, but I'm not gonna complain.
Say it, Si. We robbed them. We robbed them blindly.
Yeah, we 100% robbed them. Like we really did, and it's perfectly fine with me because at the end of the day, this is somebody that we got beat by 4 times. I'm fine with taking 1 point, and we were only 3 points behind them. Why shouldn't we keep a team like this within our range when they're aiming for third themselves, right? Yeah. So it's like, yeah,
do you know what the good thing is, Si? We've got a chance to beat him at the lane. So when they come back to our lane, we got a chance to really stick it to them. Yeah. We're going to cause absolute havoc in that stadium, put it that way.
Yeah, and like we're going to be much more mentally prepared, and we're going to be much more. It's at our place. We're going to have our fans there screaming and stuff. It's going to be a completely different environment. I just hope that like we can pull that win out over there because
that'd be good.
That'll really feel good. That would really feel good. But hey, we beat Southampton, a team that we lost to and tied with.
Yep.
So my main thing is like let's just not lose to teams that we shouldn't lose to. Like like Chelsea, City, United. Well, not United. No, forget. But yeah, City, Liverpool. Like sure, like if we get a tie, I'll be happy. If we win, of course I'll be happy. But like if we lose, it's understandable. But then there's certain teams we shouldn't be losing to. Southampton is not one of them, and we beat them last year. We didn't, and we did now. So it's important.
Yeah, I think the idea for this season to show progress is that when we beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. If we can't, we go for the draw, and the top teams. If we can't beat them, we just don't lose. That's the key.
Yeah,
as long as we don't lose, we take points from them. It shows the progress. It shows the resiliency of what Conte's trying to build.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we got better as a team. Like we've got the players, but we beat City. We beat City twice last year, but at the same time, like they have now one of the best strikers. Like they've upgraded, right? So it's not going to be the same City. So if we can't expect that same situation, it's going to be a completely different game that they're playing. It's going to be tough, and that guy Haaland is he's a cyborg. He's not human. He's weird. It's weird.
He isn't.
It's super weird.
So we're going to be worried when he gets used to playing in the Premier League. Because yesterday, when you think of the game yesterday, it was completely different for him. He wasn't getting in the game as much, but when he did, obviously the first goal came from him. But German football's completely different. So it's kind of, when he gets used to the Premier League, he's going to be probably Harry Kane times 10.
100%. And it's just one of those things that we got to realize, like, hey, like, sure, we're better as a team, but that doesn't mean other people didn't get better as a team as well, and they did. Sure, Chelsea, surprisingly, I think, like, without Rudiger, I think they kind of lost some, and they don't have a striker still, but at the same time, like, prime Brazil today somehow. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
One thing you'll learn with history with Chelsea is that we have this mental block on them.
And a bit of them on us. Like, if they could be going through the worst, they could go on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Spurs will be next week. Spurs would be top of the league, and they'd go and beat Spurs. Yeah. It's just what they do.
No, and it frustrates me so much. Yeah, like it's like how did they pull today off? Yeah, how did they pull today off after probably like the Everton game? They did not play well. I'm sorry, they didn't play well. They won off of a penalty and whatever. And this is an Everton that lost their best player to us, you know? So it's like, and surprisingly, that's the player that changed the game today for us, in my opinion.
I had a bet on to him to score. And when he ran off, I was going absolutely mad because I thought, yes, that's come in. And then obviously we saw that Harry Kane had scored it, and I was like, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. No, Spurs got the points. That's what matters.
Yeah, really. We tied it. But at the end of the day, you know what that proved to me is this guy is all in on Spurs. The first thing he did was run to the crowd. The first thing he did was run to the Spurs fans and say, like, even if he didn't score, he's like, listen, I'm here for y'all. And that was it for me. That made me. It said this guy. He didn't just get signed, and he's not just trying to be on a Big Six team. He is on a Big Six team, and he wants to make something of it. And that was what made me happy.
Yeah,
I mean that's all I have to say. I'm sorry.
No, it's all, man. The stage is yours when you're on. Is there anything else you want to say before we let you go, mate?
I mean, all I have to say is come on, you Spurs. That's it.
Perfect way to end it, man. Perfect way to end it. It was a great call, Sion. We've got to have you back on again, man. It's definitely really good to see you and to meet you. So yeah, definitely, man. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for everything you guys do.
Oh, not at all. It's for you guys, man. That's why the boys and everyone who works with everyone to produce this for you guys. So it's a pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure.
All right.
Take it easy. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
And there's one super chat I think we've got. It was from Liran again. So yeah, thank you, Liran. It says, finally we got depth. And then he says... Reef Star Legend. I'm not even sure what that even means, but anyway, yeah, big up to you, man, and thank you for the super chat, man.
Yeah, Ref's a legend. I think he's put there.
Oh, the Ref's a legend. Oh, Ref is a legend. Sorry, Ref is a legend. Yeah, he was a legend. I think it was the VAR man's a legend.
Whoever was in VAR today.
I'm telling you, he was jealous of Cucurella's hair. That's exactly why he just let it go. He was like, I don't like Cucurella, so that was it. And let's bring on the final guest. It's my man Dan THFC. How are you doing, man? It's long time since we've actually been on a chat together. How are you?
Yeah, long time. I'm fantastic. To play that badly and get a point at Stamford Bridge.
I love the way everyone starts.
Literally. Daylight robbery, isn't it? Daylight robbery, Dan.
Daylight robbery, and I'm all for it.
Mate, if we can do that against Chelsea again, I'm all for that as well. But hopefully, I was saying to Sai before that next time when they take Chelsea to the lane, we got to do them, man. We got to really do them. Take 4 points off them this season. That'll be brilliant. But give us your thoughts on today, mate. Give us your thoughts on what's going on with the performance and how you felt.
Well, first of all, I think Romero was trying to expose Brian Daigle.
Yeah, he was. I said to Daigle when he came on, I was like, "How did you get back so quickly?" He goes, "Well, look, they pulled my wig off." So.
Yeah, but I hate Tuchel, man. That guy is such a prick. Honestly, this so man, and also Cucurella, he was looking for scraps a little bit off camera that a lot of people didn't see. Yeah. He was getting the scrap with Kulusevski, and nobody was actually talking about that one. And he actually had a scrap when he was playing with Brighton, and we played against Brighton with Kulusevski, and they were pushing each other. They were pushing each other when the camera wasn't on them. And
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, honestly. I love this shithousery mentality. We're just a different football club. I remember Jose Mourinho in the Amazon documentary saying, you can't be nice. You can't be nice, guys. You have to be, I'm not going to say the word, but yeah. So it's good to see that teams are starting to hate us, and it's a brilliant London derby. Maybe the only thing I would have changed if Cucurella's hair would have fell off.
That would have been glorious. I think then he might have been like, actually, maybe we need to give the foul. but I think it was glorious to get away with something like that, and then literally straight after that, the corner comes in, we scored a goal. It was perfect. It was that perfect end to the day.
Yeah. So where do you think the game changed for us today? Because obviously, as everyone's saying, it's daylight robbery, but where did it start to fall in our favour for you?
The substitutions, I think, was just the main thing. I think Conte, if it would have done it a little bit earlier, we could have even seen Tottenham win this game.
That's what I was saying.
But I'm just happy that he did them. in all honesty.
Do you think it's good, Dan? Then, because obviously last season when we looked at Chelsea, when we played Chelsea, we couldn't really bring on that much to really impact the game. I think we brought on Lucas Moura.
He used to come on a lot.
Bergwijn, I know one of the games Bergwijn and Kane started when we lost 1-0. And we had Winks in the midfield with Højbjerg, and then we had Doherty and someone else on the left. I can't remember who it was. Some was injured, so he didn't play. And then obviously this season he's looked at it and he's like, well, look who I've got. I can bring on Perisic, Basuma, Moura, and Richarlison. And I think the depth has shown how much of a difference it can be when you're trying to even just get a point at Stamford Bridge, because it shows the levels, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and something else with that game was that we also got robbed in that game. I don't know if you remember Harry Kane's goal, where a feather, where the wind blew on Thiago Silva's shoulder and he fell down and they disallowed the whole goal. So maybe you could just say we're even now.
No, we'll never be even with Chelsea.
Yeah, the Chelsea scums. That's it. But Dan, I want to ask you, right, now I know lots of people have said it today about our defensive situation. Do you think we need another centre-back to come in before the window shuts to compete with Dyer for that position?
Obviously, I think that it would be ideal if we did that, but do I see it happening? To be completely honest with you, I don't think, especially with that guy that we have up above. It's I don't see it happening, to be honest. I would love one, and if I had to pick one, well, this might sound delusional, but I would pick Bastoni. But I think if we're patient and let's say we wait and we don't sign a center back this season, but the option to buy Bastoni could open up next season, and I'd be more than happy if we got him in.
Well, I think we're going to get... I personally think if Conte signs an extension, Bastoni's coming to Spurs next summer. That's my opinion. I think they're going to go all out for Bastoni. He'll have a year left on his contract. I don't think he's going to sign a contract. We don't know if he will, but if he doesn't, then that tells me that there's a lot of room for him to come, basically, for a lot cheaper than what we would actually would have paid this summer for him. I also think, though, that because Bastoni will be that left centre back, and I think he will be the competition with Davis, because I don't think Longley will stay after the season finishes. But do you not think we need someone to compete with Eric Dyer? Because we've got Sanchez, who can be Romero's replacement for that right centre-back, and I think he does a good job when he plays there as well. But do you not think we need someone else? Because the only person we've got right now is Tanganga. And me, personally, I think Tanganga is not the player I want to be the competition for Dyer. Or if Dyer gets injured, we have to bring in Tanganga. And also, the fact that Tanganga is very injury-prone, and he struggles a lot with injuries,
and he's not good centrally as well. So the only good, like the best player centrally we've got at the club right now is Eric Dyer. Yeah, and that probably sums it up for everybody. That's who we're relying on. So is it a case of, do we try and bring a backup to try and be someone central? Because obviously Rodon's gone, and he barely got a sniff as well. So where do we go from here? Do we try and bring in someone on loan, or do we just kind of go, actually we can move Sanchez or Lenglet into the middle?
You know, I'd love for Spurs to go in for, and he's one that was linked with Tottenham a lot when Conte was first appointed, and that's De Vrij. Yeah, I like De Vrij. I like De Vrij. There's also Skriniar, but I don't see us signing him after the whole thing that we had with Skriniar before. I don't see us signing him. But I mean, Danny, you saying that Sanchez is good is questionable. I mean, it depends. It depends who you ask. It depends who you ask. I think that he's not.
Look, he's not. He's one of them. I think where if he starts every week, he's one of them. If he starts a series of games, he gets worse. But if he only has to come in for 2 or 3, as we saw last season, he can do the job. So he's not starting. It's not if he was starting every week, all of us would be like, "Nah, get him out of the team."
I personally think Sanchez is going to be sold next summer. I've just got this weird feeling about it, because I think he's not going to want another season where he's hardly playing, especially if Romero's fit all season. Yeah, he's going to get rotated, but I think he's not going to get as many games as he wants, and I just feel that next summer they're going to try and look for a move for him, and they'll probably try and bring in two centre backs next summer. Yeah, but that's why I think they want. I think if we're going to get one player, I honestly believe it's going to be that centre back, because they don't want to go into the next year and they have to replace 3 centre backs. I think because if Sanchez wants to go next summer, then I think then you're going to have to look to replace. You need to get 3 in, because you can't go another season without having competition for Dyer. So I think they will get one more player in. I think it will be a centre back. It's just I don't have any idea who it is, and if they do bring one in, it's going to be a youngster. It'll be someone who's like in their maybe early 20s, I reckon.
Yeah. Speaking of selling backups, literally 90th minute right now. The only thing that's going through my mind is where's Steven Bergwijn when you need him? Notification on Twitter comes on my phone. Steven Bergwijn has just scored a hat trick for Ajax.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. He's going to do well at Ajax. He's going to do really well, and I'm going to enjoy watching him at Ajax. Obviously I couldn't watch it today, but I will go back and watch it the full match. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy that. But look, he needed to play. It's as simple as that. Bergwijn needed to play, and you never know if he keeps up this kind of consistency throughout the season or the next 2 years. Another top club might come sniffing around him, so you never know.
Or he might come back.
I don't know. That's for sure. But yeah, Dan, is there anything else you want to add, mate, to your thoughts on today and going forward about the season or anything like that?
Well, I've got a long list, and that list is of managers that I dearly hate. And it's just been added another one. Well,
is it basically, does it go like this? Thomas Tuchel, Klopp, Pep.
Pep Guardiola, Arteta. No, but I don't know if you caught this, and I don't think a lot of people did catch this. And this was in the this game's pre-match conference, and they were asking him about the weather. And Conte made this thing that nobody's really talking about right now that I think is friggin' hilarious, where he was talking about. I don't think the weather affects us because both teams are playing in the same weather. It's a bit like the grass when it's dry, and nobody clocked it. But I think he's taking a shot at Jurgen Klopp there.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he is after the comment. Yeah, because he's still upset about the comment he made after our game where he goes, I can't play against teams who do that, and it's just like
he made a comment about. Didn't he make a comment about the weather recently? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
About
he makes comments about everything.
Everything. Yeah.
He makes comments about everything, man.
Oh, I can't stand Klopp. I actually liked Klopp before he came into the Premier League, but now he's just an arrogant arsehole.
Since he won the league, I've kind of got my thing of Klopp's gone now. But I used to like him as well. But yeah, Dan, anything else before we wrap up, mate?
I'm trying to think.
Final thoughts.
Well, I love Richarlison. I love Richarlison and Romero's like Batman and Robin. It's like.
Yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Who's Robin? Who's Batman?
They're both Batman, I guess.
I'm giving Batman to Romero because I think Richarlison ain't having none of Romero.
I think Romero just edges that one. I think. Edges that one. But yeah, I want to say thank you, Dan, for coming on, man. It's always great.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm sure we're going to catch up on one of Will's streams again very soon. So it was good to chat to you, man.
Good to chat to you. Come on, you Spurs, and Tuchel.
Come on, you Spurs.
He's a prick.
I love that. And that's an absolutely mammoth stream we've just done.
Yep.
We've just done the watch along and the fan show, and I really appreciate you joining as well, Marlon, today. David, how do you feel, mate? Is it good for you?
No, it was good fun. Yeah, can't wait to come back now.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to tell people who's still watching about your channel as well?
Yeah, I run a channel called A View from the South Stand, which you can find on YouTube. Also on the Hotspur Hood. Those are the two channels that I do. Yeah, we do match reactions. So if you want to tune in for that, and if you can subscribe as well. But yeah, usually on the day of the match around 7-8:30 English UK time, I've got a couple of guests that come on each week, and we just go through the game and have a one-on-one interview like we just did then. So yeah, and before we do wrap up, there is two more. I think there's two super chats or two chats that have just come in. I know Rambo put one in, so big up to Rambo. I haven't seen you for a while, mate, so it'd be nice to chat to you next time. And Rambo was saying, where is it? He wanted to say that it was wanted for perpetrating a heist. Tottenham Hotspur, stolen goods, 1 point. COYS. Love that. Absolutely love that, Rambo. Yep. Big up to you, man, and thank you for the support and the super chat. Definitely.
And yeah, you need to get on next time because I haven't spoken to you in a while, so it'd be good to chat again, mate. And we've got a new member. We've got a member for 4 months, and that is COYS 1995. He goes, "Hi, boys from Cyprus." Big up to you in Cyprus, man. I hope you're good, and I hope the weather's probably even hot over here, maybe at the moment. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I hope you enjoyed the game today, man. And you can find me. You can find me with Mr. Brian Daigle, the man, the myth, the legend himself, on Tottenham on Tour with Brian Island. And yeah, we've just got loads of stuff. We're doing now the late show for We Are Tottenham TV on Fridays at 1 in the morning UK time. So you can find us there on We Are Tottenham TV. And yeah, we've got a couple of shows coming this week. So just get over there and subscribe to us if you haven't done already. And yeah, for everyone else, I just want to say, put some comments in the comments section to let us know your final thoughts on today and how you feel and what you feel going forward. And yeah, more importantly, before we go, I want you to make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.